Okay, we're on there. Okay.
Excellent. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's budget workshop. Today we'll be walking through a lot of budgetary items from a lot of different departments. I will turn it over to the town manager to frame things up, and then after each department's presentation, I'll open the floor for questions or discussion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today you'll be meeting with all the department heads, and this is an opportunity to ask questions, and if you have any changes you'd like to make, come up with recommendations today. We're going to probably do it more informally and just get a consensus on any changes. The last few years there haven't been a lot, so yeah, it's just an opportunity to do that. What's going to happen next is the next council meeting. If there are changes made today, I'll come in with a memorandum that outlines that, and then you'll amend the budget at that meeting and then either approve or hold over for another meeting.
Okay.
So, the first budget today is recreation. It is, if you're going by hard copy, page.
Oh, nice. Do we have that?
You do. It's on page 114.
Beautiful.
This is starting with the recreation general fund?
Yep, general fund. They're requesting $551,311, which I agreed with. It's an increase of $5,215, or 95%. And I'll turn it over to the rec director to. Nothing out of the ordinary, it's mainly just salary expenses.
Are we on the general fund?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's just explaining what's going on. Contractual services are up.
For the most part, we pretty much stay the same. It's pretty much, like fixed cost. Copier machine went up a little bit. We did make an adjustment in the full-time salary. We're merging, we have one staff member who does a lot of administrative, and part of the salary is also in the revolving fund, and some wage adjustments in there. And then the one big one that you might see is the arts, culture, tourism line. That actually reflects increase in the fireworks, because next year is a 250th anniversary. Fireworks are going to be very expensive based on just demand. So I had called the company and they said to budget $11,000 this year for the fireworks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave the wrong number, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was going with the revolving.
Yeah, that's why.
It's $354,831. You're on the right page, I believe, counselors. And it's $32,776 increase.
Yes.
You're on the right page. I was wrong with my number. I was on the wrong page.
Yeah. So those are probably the most significant changes that you'll see here. I think we went up a little bit on the training development. Again, we have 5 full-time staff. So, and there's a lot of opportunity, and recreation trends change very fast. So just keeping up with that, camp, sports. Yes.
I just have one question. What do you usually use so the Arts, Culture, and Tourism Commission line was 5,025. Then I know that increase in what is it usually used for? Because if the budget is approved as it is, you would have less money available based on the number that you just shared for the fireworks.
It started a year ago, 2 years ago. 5,000 was put in there for the arts, tourism, culture.
Right.
It's a arts, tourism, culture line, not specifically the commission's line. And so that 5,000 that first year that we put it in was for the arts, arts, culture, and tourism line. Then last year we added the fireworks, which was 7,500, and they requested 7,000 last year. And then this year they requested 7,000. I requested 11,000, but town manager.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it would effectively be a reduction.
It would be a reduction if we're going with the 11,000, which is what I've been told.
Go ahead.
So is this the same arts, tourism, culture, whatever it is, committee? So I was just confused. So we're going to have a presentation from the Conservation Commission. And the Conservation Commission has a budget similar to this, like $10,000-$15,000. And they come directly to the town council for their money.
No, they don't.
Oh, they don't?
They come to me first, and then they come to the council.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a presentation to the council, right? It's a presentation to you, then to the
The
council.
department head presents it. The commission, every board or committee has a staff member. For example, this one is the recreation director. Conservation is the community development director. So we all have a staff person who does the budget, who oversees the budgets for them. It's not the committees directly coming to the council.
Okay, so the Conservation Commission's budget is not in...
It's a separate line item, yes.
It's a separate line
Yep.
item, right? So I was just curious, so we allocate money to that line item.
Yep.
So in this case, we allocate money to a line item that then allocates it to this line
To
item.
the recreation.
Yeah, so I was wondering, why are they different?
Because, well, one, under state law, they have a separate entity for the Conservation Commission. I don't know if they do for arts and tourism. Because usually this set up for chart of accounts by the DRA. And by statute, there's a separate Conservation Commission. I'm trying to think of any community I've been in, mostly we had to figure somewhere else to put it because of the charts of accounts. So it usually falls under recreation or it falls under some other cultural item or grant.
Does any other committee receive funding, or is it just those two?
Budget Committee has some,
And-
trustees of trust funds have some.
And where is the Budget Committee line item?
That is, I believe, under me.
Actually, I think it's in finance.
Is it finance now?
Yeah, I'd have to look. but-
It's in finance?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't really funded it.
I'm just curious
Yeah.
where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not,
Okay, so Conservation Commission is separate because of the state law?
Yeah, it's a separate, and they actually have more opportunities for funding because they have their own funds when it comes to current use taxes and monies like that. So,
Yeah, it just looked to me like this was
yeah,
chicken and egg kind of thing. Or like,
somewhat it is when it comes to budgets.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Other questions? Or discussion?
If there's none, we'll consider that one going on the budget as is. And the next one will be the Recreation Revolving Fund on page 121. That was the one I just read to you about.
Yes. This particular one is just a very small increase from last year. This revolving fund is exactly what it is, a revolving fund, and it gives us an opportunity to make purchases, but we also, more or less where we can generate revenue. So most of the expenses under here fall under where we might be generating revenue. So the goal is always to end with a profit, and last year we ended up with 143 at the end of the year. We don't generally expend what we ask for, but we never know whether or not, for example, our biggest line item on this one is part-time salary, and going in, we don't know how many kids are going to sign up for camp. We don't know whether the staff members are going to take a vacation or not, so we have to budget like they're going to show up every day and we're going to get this many kids for camp. But of course, we only hire what we need and we only spend what we need. So that's why there's always a somewhat significant difference between what we ask for and what we spend. And so one other huge difference on this one is under contractual services. Originally, that was used mostly for contract equipment or something where we had to write a contract and it was some sort of piece of a service or so forth. But in this past year, we've had a significant number of contract instructors, and we've been putting that under the programming line because it's a program, like gymnastics, those are contract instructors, jiu-jitsu, and it's significant. 42,000 of programming expense last year was due to contract instructors. So it's a little confusing when you mix it with, arts and crafts and then a contract instructor. So we've pushed where we are putting contract instructors under the contractor service line. So that just shifted I'm trying to think of any other significant difference, if anybody has any questions.
Just a reminder that as a revolving fund, all of it's covered by fees that we charge for that. This does not impact taxation.
Yes, yeah.
And bank fees, $20,000, is that for like credit card fees?
Credit card fees, yeah.
Just like, why don't we just say, in addition to, your fee, we're also gonna charge you the 3.5%?
We do. We, during summer camp, because it's such a significant purchase, people have the right to, have the ability to come in and pay with a check or a cash, and they're not charged that fee for camp. But if they choose to pay with a credit card, they're informed that they're going to be paying that much more. So there is a rate for those who don't pay by check or cash for summer camp, and there's a rate for those who choose to do.
But for this cost of 20,000, there's an offsetting revenue,
Yes,
correct?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
why we have to just book it.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's everything else other than the summer camp where they do something with a credit card?
And all the other programs, that fee is incorporated in the cost. Yeah. It's a huge hit, and it went up significantly as everyone uses a credit card now.
Councilor Blackstone.
Do you pay rent or any kind of compensation for the facility or anything like that, or do we donate that?
The community center?
No, the building, the rec center, the fields, all that stuff.
We don't pay rent.
I mean, this fund doesn't pay rent, right?
No,
No.
no. We have an agreement with the housing authority for the land.
Right,
was
no,
done-
I know that, yeah. But that's all taken care of by the... by
The other
by the rec
expenses
center.
is under Public Works.
Right.
Councilor Drumlin.
I have just a couple of questions.
Mhm.
One, so this budget is essentially what you're projecting to be able to spend and how it would be allocated over the course of the year, provided all of your assumptions hold
Mhm.
true, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's more akin to a nonprofit's budget than it is to an allocation that the town makes to a particular department. Is that correct?
I'm not
It's more like we do for
It's
the,
expected.
Yeah, she's saying there's a
expected
revenue line of 551K.
income. Right, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so it's really not something that we are.
it's not through
Yes.
taxation.
We're not appropriating these funds.
No, you are
We-
appropriating these funds.
We're just essentially affirming the budget and the budget lines and the size of the
No.
budget.
So, okay.
Because
And this is for everything, no, this is for everything, I want to clarify. So taxation's not our only source of revenue. We have the general fund, which is through taxation mainly, but also motor vehicle registrations, building permits, other funds like that. Then we have something called the special revenue funds. Recreation's one of them. Solid waste is partially one of them. That means that the state law allows us to set up a separate way to fund that, but the monies that are funded through it go back into it. So it's still a budget. It's still, you have to appropriate this. And then third, there's the enterprise funds, which is water and sewer, which is paid through the ratepayers. Only those who are using that.
So let's say the assumptions don't hold true and the money does not come in.
We don't do the
It's
project.
not realized.
We don't do it.
So then, but we've appropriated the funds.
We don't have to do it if we don't have it. That's one of the things about special revenue.
Okay. Okay, that clarifies that.
Yeah.
And then I have one question around bus trips. We had allocated 40,000 in '25, or appropriated 40,000 in '25, used 25,869, or took in 25,869, I suppose. Does that figure represent accurately the cost for bus trips, or is that representative of the money that came in from fees and whatever, user fees to fund bus trips?
Bus trips used to fall mostly under summer camp field trips. And at one point, we were doing 2 field trips summer so that it's a little bit higher. Since the splash pad, we've done one trip, but we've added some trips. And we also throw in the possibility of a family trip, taking a bus to go see the Red Sox or something like that. If there's opportunity for something like that, we always want to have the money in there, just in case. The seniors also, they're a little bit higher. They might do an overnight trip. And whether or not I have enough in their line for that, that bus trip might, subsidize that. It's an opportunity to do those trips, but not necessarily we're going to do them. We usually just wait for the bus company to give us a quote, and then we make sure that we pay enough to cover that cost.
So these bus trips are fees that vendors charge you to?
Yes, so
Okay,
it'd
so
be expensive.
we're not using our vehicles to conduct bus trips?
No, this will be
That's
through
not what
First
this line is.
Student.
Okay.
And their rates do go up quite a bit every year.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I think one thing is, we have to budget everything we're going to expend. So if, for example, this recreation is a good example. If we anticipate having $28,000 worth of bus trips, even though we have $28,000 worth of revenues, we have to budget the $28,000 in expenditure. We can't do it as a wash. We have to show it on both sides. So it's not what, yeah, I just want to make sure people are aware of that. We hear that a lot also, like for the building inspector. Well, they collect all these fees, why don't they keep their department keep their money? Well, that's because we're one general fund, we're not each individual department.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to revenue and expenses, it's the same, as you mentioned, but we generally go higher than what our expense line is, just in the pattern. The only year we didn't was COVID.
Counselor Eagleson?
I just have a question about the field lights line item. Is the drop in 4,000 for between 2026 and 2027 just going back to the trend, or the amount back in 2025, or is there an actual expected drop in usage?
The drop was because the field lights were so expensive previous years that the school stopped having games at night to not incur the expense. We have since looked into that with Eversource with the help with Steve, and actually the month of October, this October, we'll see if there's a significant difference between what plan we were on then and what we're on now, so the school can use them more in the evening. But the drop is not because they weren't as expensive, it's because we weren't using them as much because it was so expensive.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. The budget sort of narrative reflects that most of these line items are minor fluctuations, and we see some, kind of a big bump because of the fireworks that are, that are coming up. Are there any other, is this a hold steady budget, or are there other things that you're trying to expand and do and grow and, What's coming up, man?
This will probably be your operational budget with normal programs going on throughout the year,
Okay.
maybe a few extra. In regards to capital improvements, that would come through our capital reserves and our enterprise fund, and impact fees, that's where I would go, or grants to do other things.
Got it.
And one of the things that I'm looking at is improving the outdoor stage
Oh, cool.
facility.
Nice.
One I would like to do before the 300. And then we recently had the purchase, so when things will start with that. But there's other little items. We have a long list of things that we would love to do. But that wouldn't be in
That's
this
not here.
operating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Mhm.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay.
Okay, how's that?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And police is on page 70 is the next one.
It's like choose your own adventure books.
It is. Yeah, I was gonna say the digital is, we're just tapping,
Yeah, that's why.
The budget is $2,765,227, increase of $439,904. That is mainly for the full-time full-time salaries and the implementation of the correction that we had last year. That was $343,827. Chief, you want to?
Good morning. As Steve said, most of the increase is due to salaries, which also increases the overtime rates. We've had some increases in our part-time salaries as well. Part of that is increases for the part-time officers, but also our prosecution comes out of the part-time salary line item, and that has increased over the years. And those are mainly the significant increases. There is a significant increase in the equipment lease line item. That's just the price of different pieces of equipment to include body cameras. We're also looking at, we currently don't have cruiser cams, and that's something that we're looking to add. Also covers things like tasers and equipment that we lease and don't purchase. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer. Some of the stuff we tried to keep level funded because of the significant increase in the salary line item, and we think we did a pretty good job with that.
Counselor Ward?
Just the comment that since we increased the salary, we now have all our positions are full.
We're completely full. We have one part-time position that is like an administrative position that should be full in the coming weeks. But yeah, this is the first time in over 10 years that we've had a full staff. So.
Well, then it sounds like the increase was worth it, just in my opinion. So.
Counselor Drumblett?
Could you explain overtime to me? How is that occurred?
Essentially, anytime somebody works over 40 hours, if they're working extra, they're going to get paid time and a half. There's a variety of reasons. One, they could be just filling a shift. If they get sent to court, if they get sent to additional training and we can't adjust their hours, that is a lot of it. It mainly is covering when other employees are off or away, or potentially at training. For example, this week I had an officer that was at training in Rhode Island for an entire week. I had to replace his position here, so those officers were working above and beyond their 40 hours, so they were getting extra money for that. Same thing if I send somebody to court, that is contractually they get paid at least 4 hours to go to court, but often they're there longer than that, and if they're there longer than that, I have to pay hour per hour, whatever that is.
Okay, so that would not be covered under their 40 hours, because the 40 hours are always allocated to shifts that.
Pretty much. Now that we're more full staff, we can make some adjustments, but not enough that I can cover a guy that's gone for an entire week and have it that way. But we do try and make adjustments where we can, and that might be like small blocks, and being full staff helps that, but it doesn't certainly take away fully.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or discussions for Chief Jordan?
Okay. Seeing that, we'll go on the ballot in the budget. The next is environmental services. We are on page, back of the book, 128 and then 133. First, we'll go with the Water Enterprise Fund. Again, this is paid through ratepayers, not through taxation. We are looking at a budget of $1,993,107, an increase of $23,624. And I'll let the director explain.
Water enterprise?
Water.
Water enterprise. Everything is covered through rates.
Yeah.
So if you get water.
This is not sewer, just water.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just looking for the tab.
Yeah.
That's all.
So this basically covers all the operation and maintenance of 28 miles of water main, 4 wells, a booster pumping station, and a water treatment facility. There's not a lot of change. There's just a few minor. Most of it's up in the wages and associated with wages. There are some adjustments down for a small increase in electricity. Then there's a $15,000 decrease in chemicals, and then there's some adjustments to our bonds and notes and interest.
Council Blackstone.
This is more of a clarification question, but you're transferring like $240,000 to the capital reserve fund.
Yes.
What is the capital reserve fund these days? I mean, I thought we were going to leasing everything, and so what are we doing in capital reserve and what are we leasing?
Well, for water and sewer capital reserves are different than the general fund capital reserves. Leasing, we're looking at larger trucks, not like dump trucks, fire trucks, those kind of items. Police, we actually took out of capital reserve and put an operating budget. That's why I actually saw a $43,000 increase there. What we're not doing is taking every year and putting $20,000, so in 5 years, we try to buy a $100,000 vehicle because it just doesn't make sense. A lot of these contributions to capital reserve funds are for larger projects instead of capital purchases. For example, do you need, Brian, do you need to?
No, Bill's mic is dead or off. It's just big.
Oh, yeah, okay. For example, I'll let Sean explain some of the things that his contribution to the capital reserve
Okay,
funds
so
are
is
for.
this the water tower and that kind of stuff? or-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also for equipment, and because we entered into agreements with rural development, we structured our capital reserves to fit so we could get that money. We have to make sure that we have money in there to replace certain equipment, because they don't want us to actually have to come back and say, hey, we're back in the same spot. We need money to replace all this stuff.
Right.
So-
Okay, so at least in this fund, we are in this thing where we're putting 20,000 every year so that in 5 years we have 100,000.
Yes.
Right.
But it's,
okay.
what kind of equipment is it?
So it's well pumps.
Right.
It's, the water tower does have $100,000, I believe, to go into that fund for the future water tower. For us, it is small equipment like our trucks, because for us, it's hard for us to transition into that lease because we're only one fund. But we created it to fit with the rural development, so we have the biggest eligibility for grants.
Okay, and then, so 100,000 for the water tower, it sounds like, like a tiny amount, right? Are we planning on building a water tower in 20 years or something? I thought we were talking about the water tower in a few years.
So this would offset, we would be possibly looking at a loan grant. So it could
Okay.
be a combination.
Okay, so it'd be a warrant article or something?
Yes, it'd be a warrant article. Yes, I would love to put more away, but that's going to impact the rates. So we have to try and balance, what people can afford for water, and that's where we're at.
Right, okay.
So, and keep in mind, we're just coming off a major infusion of projects that have really impacted the rate, and the inflation really hit us hard too. So we're trying to have our revenues and expenses meet each other and then make the decisions how we go forward. We're trying to do it in a very thoughtful way.
Can I ask, yeah, so the electricity, so do we have this pumping station in this budget? I mean, is the pumping station, the new pumping station, is that in this, is that running during this budget?
Yes.
Right, so is that
Yes.
electricity included?
Yes.
Because that would be a major amount
Yes.
of electricity, I would imagine.
All our, as of February of this year, all our pumping stations are online. So.
Okay, but I'm not talking about wells, right? I'm talking about, we're talking about a pumping station to get pressure up at the high elevation.
No, that's not how it works. No, so what actually happens is we have 4 wells. 2 wells pump directly into the system. The other 2 wells go through a water treatment facility that treats the water to remove arsenic and manganese and then puts it into the system. The tank fills up, and that's how we get our pressure.
I
So-
thought, okay, I thought there were a couple places where that wasn't enough.
So we have one place, which is the Folsom and Great Hill, which has a booster station, which we maintain, and that's been running there since, I believe, the 80s.
Oh.
We upgraded that. It
Are
serves
we
about
talking about improving? I thought we were talking about putting in a new pumping station.
That's the study that you approved a little while ago. We're performing a study to look at and see what we can do to improve the pressure.
Okay, so that's not in the next
No, that is
year.
not in, no.
Right. And then the other one is, what is land acquisition?
Land acquisition, so that's what we pay, the yearly payment we pay on the Macintosh well.
Oh, okay.
And I believe the last payment is 2028.
Okay.
So that was a 20-year payment.
Right. All right, thank you.
Counselor Drumble.
So let's say you allocate, I don't know, 4,000 to training and staff development, or 5,000, and you need 6,000. Are you able to move between lines, or is that something that is not possible because of the way the funds?
So municipal budget law is, if it's within your department, you can transfer between line items. Usually, I have to bless it. We believe, one of our philosophies since I've been here is, if it's overexpending your overall department line, we show the over expenditure so the council can see this is what it actually costs to run the department. There is a law that allows us to transfer funds from one department to another to offset but that'd have to come to the council. Yes, he would be able to, if he went over something, he would reduce something else in his line item to offset that cost.
Okay. And are you able to also then, if there is an overage, to transfer to capital reserves, let's say, if there were more? Is that something?
I can't do that, no.
You can't, no, okay.
I can't do that, no.
The annual appropriation is the only time we can do it.
Okay, all right.
So what could happen, and what we've done in the past, is if the council sees a large amount in fund balance, we can put it as part of the budget to move that money into capital
Right.
reserves, which we've done.
Any other questions? Okay.
Okay, seeing none. Wastewater, 133. Wastewater is also popularly known as sewer.
So again, there's not a increase, really, actually, there's a decrease
Yeah.
in this budget. Most of the changes are up in the salaries. However, there are some big ones down in the bottom, which is electricity, which I bumped up $30,000, because we're gonna probably have some new equipment coming online for the septic receiving station blowers to treat the septic a little better and to increase the capacity of the facility. We also have a $20,000 increase in chemicals. That's due to the processing of solids and getting rid of the solids. And then there's a $30,000 sludge disposal increase. That's due to our new contract with Waste Management. So that's where that increase comes from. And then bonds and notes is a large increase and a small decrease in interest.
I do want to, just put everything on the table, the town manager's salary and the director of financial administration salary is partially funded through these two departments as well, because the town manager is the CEO of the water and sewer department, and the finance director is the CFO of the water and sewer department. So it doesn't change our base salary from what you give it to us, but we do bill these two departments to cover some of that cost.
Councilor Matino.
Can you talk a little bit about expected revenues? And it's not really in here, but are we looking to maybe increase, you're taking waste from other places, are we maybe looking to increase rates there?
We look around and see what the rates are for septic, which is one of our major revenues. We took in 6.5 million gallons of septic last year, which means $650,000 in revenue, which has offset the rates for us, which is huge. So we do look around. I do not see any increases coming based on what I'm seeing. But if I do see other places increase their rates, that would be the time when I would think we should increase our rates. But we're competitive right now.
And that revenue doesn't cover the, you've got a $30,000 increase in the sludge disposal here. It can't, I guess what would it be without that revenue?
But again, you have to put an expense.
Yeah.
There's an offsetting revenue.
Yes, that's why I just.
So the 30,000 is offset, it's a wash.
If you truly look at it, I believe we have about a 20% cost, what we'll be seeing with the new septic receiving station out of that. So 20% out of that 650,000 is in this budget, and needs to be covered. The rest goes to offsetting rates. If that helps you out.
It doesn't. I don't.
It does, yeah.
It's a general question of, how.
I mean, if we didn't have this, if we didn't have the septage costs, these costs
These things would be
would be
significant.
less. But on the other side,
We'd have less revenue.
we lose that revenue that's on top, that surplus that we use to offset the rates.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a major advantage of us to take that septage.
Kind of like a general question
Yeah,
for the
of
town.
course.
In past budgets, have we included the, estimated revenues?
We do, just not to the detail, we're trying to get more detail in it. We do have it in our summary, it's just it's a line item that I'm looking at the finance director, if we have a more detailed.
Yeah, so.
Bill, your mic's off again, maybe just share.
So what we do is provide a revenue projection. It's a separate projection. It feeds up into the regular budget in that the top line for the combined page that you used to get, I believe it's in here as well.
It is.
And so then you'll see that rolls up into, each one of the.
It's under summary, I'm sorry, I don't have my.
So
hard
what
copy.
you'll actually see is you'll see revenues from
No,
rates.
not summary of the whole budget.
You'll see revenues from the state because I get state aid grant and I get some other grants that are funded by other projects. And then you'll see other in there revenues, and the septic falls under the revenues.
Got it. Thank you.
So it might be helpful, I don't know, in the future if we.
I agree.
Revenues.
I agree that each department should have, with the new system, we should be able to. We were just trying to get this online now.
This is excellent.
Okay.
So essentially, I get about
Next year, you should have it in there.
I get about $2.2 million in rates. I get about $650,000 anticipated in septage, and then I get another $200,000 in about grants, which brings me up to around $3 million, which is right where this budget is.
Counselor Drumlin.
Well,
Oh,
the only thing I was going to say is that I believe by law, we're really not supposed to be making a profit. It is supposed to, as Steve has been suggesting, we're supposed to make a loss.
Yeah.
And anything over does go to reduce.
But I think it would be nice to somehow, hey, I see this thing, he's got a $30,000 increase in this thing here, and I go look at the revenues and say, okay, maybe the revenues are up, maybe the revenues are down.
And I agree, it should be, and we're working on having it in the budget itself instead of the summary page.
Okay.
So some of the hard parts is that, and when you truly think about it, if I get lots of rain, I don't get as much revenues on water and sewer, but on the sewer, I have to actually treat more water because there's a more infiltration and inflow that leaks into the pipes. So I actually, but then on the other side, if it's dry out and I get a lot more, sell a lot more water, I get a lot more revenue, but I'm not treating as much water on the wastewater side. I have to play that game of, and I'm kind of stuck according to what the weather is in a lot of ways.
yeah. Counselor Drumlin, and then we'll come back to Counselor Blackstone.
I just have a very minor question. So the sludge disposal, is that determined by weight? How does that proposal come to be when you ask for a contract proposal? How do they allocate that?
So there's a hauling cost to haul it. So
Yeah.
each time it comes out, comes back. There's a liner that goes into the dumpster itself, and then everything is per ton.
Okay, so it is by weight, yeah.
We do about 1,000 ton per year.
And this is reflective of what you're anticipating?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Also,
And we all know what sludge is, correct?
yes. Also,
Counselor?
yes. Just,
I understand everyone's laughing, that's what sludge is.
as long as we have interest payments, it would be hard to make a profit, so I think we went really, right, as an offset.
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
We won't be.
No, I mean, even if we were to, there is, there's this line, there's the interest payments that you can allocate things to.
Yeah.
Council Blackstone.
On the sludge, how much did we generate before the Hoover? It must have been a lot more than 1,000 tons.
No, we're in a kind of a tough situation right now to determine exactly how much. Because before, we put in, you're talking the thickener is what you're talking about.
Okay.
And we did increase the percentage that we're putting out. However, I'm having a hard time figuring that out because we're taking so much septage. So I have too many inputs to find exactly how much it is. I'd have to go back and do that calculation for you, to be honest, and really look at it hard.
So the Hoover did not reduce the amount of tonnage of sludge?
It did, but we were probably taking 4 million gallons of septage, and now we're taking 6.5 million gallons of septage.
Oh, I see, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm having a hard time. I can kind of come up with a ballpark, because at the end of the day, I could take what we had, what the old percentages were and what the new percentages are.
Yeah.
Compare the 780 that we used to do,
It's a
and
moving target.
now that it's, yeah.
Oh, good?
Okay, so
Go ahead.
I have this may sound political, but it's a genuine question. I thought NPDES was found in the Supreme Court, that they threw that out. I thought this whole Clean Water Act thing was killed by the Supreme Court. Is that true or not?
I don't know what you're referring to, but that's our permit.
Yeah, no,
It's
but
national
it's through that whole Clean Water Act thing. By
No,
the
it's,
EPA,
no,
right?
no, it's not. No, we have 2 permits. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but what we do has not been thrown out.
Okay.
Are you referring to PFAS stuff?
No, the NPDES is part of that whole Clean Water Act, which regulates stormwater and sewage water and all that kind of stuff, right? And that was all controlled by the DEA, right? And I thought the Supreme Court said somehow that the DEA no longer has...
EPA.
Yeah,
The DEA is drugs.
DEA no longer has the right to control that stuff. I thought there was some...
Councilor Blackstone, is there a budgetary question?
Well,
or is
okay,
this-
but I was just,
yeah.
well, that's $100,000. So that's what I was wondering.
Our permit correct me if I'm wrong, DES is not the EPA, it's the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services.
No,
Well,
NPDES, it's a federal
That
program.
stands for National
Oh, yeah.
Pollutant Discharge
Yeah.
Elimination System.
Yeah, it's a
And
federal
I
program.
believe what you're talking about, I believe they made some decisions the Supreme Court made some decisions on how they come about to make their decisions on how they create your permit limits.
Okay.
It didn't erase what we do.
Right,
So
so-
we still have to abide by the 2 permits. So I have a nitrogen break pay permit, which is up next year, and I also have the wastewater general permit, which is, I believe is up this year.
Right, but these are both federal.
Yes, they're
Yeah.
both federal.
Right.
DES does not, we're a non-delegated state, so the EPA handles our permits.
Right, okay.
That's right.
Councilor Ward.
Both your mics are now dead, Estelle.
Yeah.
So, just wondering if we could get... Yeah, that's gonna be like my one, priority issue.
Nope.
So, can I ask one more question?
We won't be able to answer, but
Yeah.
We
Well, we'll
have to
just
wait till he gets his microphone.
our mics are all dying.
Thank you, Councilor Ulyssen.
Okay, yeah, as the table with the speakers are all done, they're both off. Thanks.
Okay. Go ahead, Councilor Lexi.
Okay, is there something in this budget that is future-oriented in terms of continuing to reduce, solid waste, sludge, whatever, through attending conferences or something like that?
I'm going to tell you, the main thing that we are working on right now is making our system more resilient and looking at any possible way that we can reduce costs. And it's also, the third thing is transitional planning. Those are the three things we're working on. So yes, we are looking at any possible way we can reduce solids, we can reduce costs in any way, but we're also working on the resiliency of the system, and we're also working on transitional planning.
I don't know what transitional planning is.
As people leave,
Retirement.
that people, that everything is there for them so they can take over and run the system as efficiently as they can. So those are the three things that we're working on.
Because we're expecting personnel changes?
We're getting aging out, we're getting a lot of people getting to that point.
Okay.
So we need to make sure that people coming in, everything is there for them to run this facility or run the system the best they can. So those are the three things that we're working on.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. Other questions? Sean, I know we do have some newer folks on the council, and I'm wondering if you could explain as concisely as you can, three things. What is septage? What is taking in septage? And then explain sort of the thickener, because that was a lot of this conversation, and sometimes it's hard to pull apart.
People that aren't on sewer system have septic tanks. And there's becoming more and more septic tanks because there's a lot more growth in the surrounding areas that don't have wastewater treatment plants. Even there's places in Newmarket that are being constructed that are outside the sewer system. Those septic tanks need to be pumped. We accept that septage, which we take in and we treat, and then clean the water and discharge, take out the bad stuff and send the rest to the river as clean water. So the septage, that's what it is. We take it in, we treat it, and we get money for that in return, which is a benefit to us. And it's also a benefit to, as the DES, which is the Department of Environmental Services for the state, really likes it because we're actually helping removing nitrogen to the area by cleaning up people's septage. The third thing is the sludge thickener, which is a project we did several years ago, and that was to reduce cost, electrical cost, and to reduce cost of solids handling or sludge disposal, which is sludge is the result of treatment of removing stuff from the water. And we take it and we run, our solids are very thin before, it thickens the solids before it goes to our final processing. And by using the thickener, we've been able to increase or reduce the water in the sludge by about 2 to 3%. And so we're not hauling as much water to the landfill. We're not paying for that water as tonnage, so it's overall reduces our costs in the long run.
Okay, thank you.
Septage is a nice way to put what you flush, all solids and liquids down your toilet.
Well, for if you have a septic system, it is septage. If you have a sewer system, that's sewage.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you for the summary, and thank you for the work that you do. Please don't retire.
I think say that every week.
Transition planning just made my blood pressure shot. Sean, stay with us, man. Okay.
Okay, next, Public Works Administration, page 74. Public Works Director, do you want the engineer with you, or you're all set? Okay.
74.
Yep. it is, the budget is $756,415, an increase of $17,444, mainly due to personnel costs.
Are we looking at Public Works Administration?
Yes, that's what I have.
So this, there's no new positions or anything, this is the way we've been operating with these salaries, just the increases. The only real change in this line item under administration is, the biggest thing is the uniforms, there's an increase in the uniforms for approved. It's up almost 3%.
Wait. I have it level at 22,500 for Public Works Administration.
Where are you?
Me?
Yeah.
Maybe my computer's wrong?
I'm seeing what you're saying.
No, that's what it says here.
Yeah.
No, you're right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no, all the increases due to salaries.
Okay. Counselor Nickerson, this is Rick Molaskey, he's the Public Works
Oh, sorry.
Director.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And go ahead,
It's okay.
Counselor Ward.
Yeah. I was just curious, why are we reducing, what was the reduce in advertising? I mean, good that we're saving money, but why, it says decrease in public notice requirements? Could you just explain what that is a little bit?
A lot of our advertisement now, we do it with the project.
Okay.
So if it's for a project, it goes through the project and not so much, and we're not doing a lot of advertisement now for staffing and stuff through the newspapers because it's so expensive. We're using online websites and stuff.
Okay.
Director Molaskey, could I ask a real, hopefully it's a real quick question. In some of the other budgets, the salaries are broken out by full-time and part-time, and in this one, it's broken out by full-time and labor, and I just wondered, is that just is that a substantive difference, or is that just a naming convention, or something else?
So the labor is the crew,
Yeah.
essentially. The full-time is like Lindsay, myself, is it a portion of you?
No.
And then the admin.
And is it labor instead of part-time because they're just called at need?
No, they're full-time.
They're full-time?
They're full-time.
Oh, then-
I don't know why it's
Always
that.
been written like
I look
that.
at the CF.
I think it's historical, it was just to divide between someone who's a salaried employee
Uh-huh.
In an hour.
and an hourly employee, is what I believe. That's probably the reason why it's divided in that way.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this is way before me. Public Works was once covered by a collective bargaining agreement, correct?
Correct.
That could be the reason why historically it was there.
Okay.
Union, non-union.
Got it. Okay. Counselor Dornbrook.
So, the salaries reflected here, and the labor salaries reflected here are those that do the work on their roadways and sidewalk maintenance.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's a slight difference from all the other
Mhm.
budgets we have. Okay, so I just needed to have that clarified because, it wasn't totally clear to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you benefit from that too.
Yes.
Thank you, that's it.
Okay. Counselor Blackstone.
So I don't know in which section to ask this question, so I'll ask it now and you can tell me if I have to ask it later. Moonlight Brook.
Yep.
We have a stream in the town that we've known for 5-6 years, has sewage in it, right?
Yep.
And I hear that, we're gonna have UNH come look at it. I mean, it seems like we're taking a really long time to really do anything about it. So what is in this budget to work on Moonlight Brook?
That is separate, and I will.
Turn it to
Where is
Lindsay.
that?
It's under the contribution to capital reserve funds.
Okay, so remind me when I get there. Remind me when.
It's not really in here.
Okay,
This is just the day-to-day maintenance of the roads.
okay.
That would be a capital project because, and yes, we are moving forward on it. It is going to take time. We do not do things overnight. It's government. So everything sadly, it takes time to do these things.
Any other questions?
Okay, next one.
Thank you very much.
No, he's still here. He's gonna be here for a while.
Okay.
Next is roadways and sidewalks maintenance, page 77.
All right.
So the big change in this line item that I'd like to point out and respectfully request that you guys add a little bit back on that contract, street marking and paving. We're going to be soon taking over all the summer maintenance on those state roads, meaning Grant Road, Packers Falls, Main Street, from Durham to the car wash. So we have to do all the striping, center line, fog lines. We have to do all the paving now on those roads.
Is that
I'm sorry?
a fact?
Yeah.
We have not, I mean, we have not been approved to take those roads. We're still,
We're very close,
Okay.
we have not officially taken those roads.
Okay.
but this is
It
for a
prudent-
year.
It is prudent to assume you're
Yeah.
taking the roads.
Yeah.
So in what line he's discussing is construction, correct?
Yeah, well, the contract street marking, the town manager reduced that by 3,500.
3,500 you can find in your budget.
And then
Oh,
the hot
contract
top
street. Yep.
was the other big one. You reduced it. Right.
And may I explain why? When we take over one of those main roads, it's already gonna be paved. Grant Road that we're taking over, it was just paved. The only one that has not just been paved, but is in great, was paved within the last 10 years, is Main Street. So, it's just not needed right now.
So, Town Manager, you're anticipating that the additional 25,000 would not be necessary for this year, given the relatively new condition of the
Correct.
hot top on the existing roads?
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, would I always love to have more money in paving? Absolutely. But I also know that we have a tax rate to look at the end of the day.
Councilor Eagleson?
Does the street marking also not just do paving, but also like lines?
That's what street marking,
That's what-
yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right there, yep.
Yeah.
Anything painted on the pavement.
Which I did not change.
Then, can I ask what the difference is between contract street parking and pavement marking?
3,500, didn't he?
Oh, pavement mark, yeah, yeah,
Why
right,
is
what's
there- why are
pavement
there
marking?
two?
Contract street markings is the
Yeah.
one I'm specific.
What's pavement marking?
Pavement markings is the crosswalks and stop bars.
Why are they- Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think I have the same
Go
question here. Why are they two separate lines?
They've always been that way.
Okay.
I don't know it was way before Rick.
Okay.
Well, so it's green sheet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a lot.
So does it need to be two separate lines?
Well, no, if you wanna make up $1,500 right there, it's already there.
Yeah.
Because they only spent 3,500, 3,400 of the 4,900.
Great,
There you go, you don't have to change that one.
excellent. Okay, Councilor Dornblit and then Councilor Ward.
Could you talk me through curbside weed control? Is that essentially mowing?
No, that's
Okay.
everything in town that has granite curbing or some type of curbing, we treat it. Otherwise, it will look like, if you ever drive to Durham, as soon as you hit the town line, you look at the curb, all the way up to Stagecoach. That's what our roads will look like, if we do not do that.
And how do you do that?
We contract that out through municipal pest, because you need special licenses and permits and all that good stuff to do that.
So it's a chemical treatment?
It's some kind of a chemical treatment that's safe to put out there. It's all approved through DES and the Department of Agriculture.
Councilor Ward
Yeah.
and then Councilor Eagleson.
I was just curious, what is cold mix? Just
That's
'cause-
for filling potholes.
Okay,
So you do that with a different type of material than hot top.
okay.
All right. Councilor Eagleson.
I just have a question about the winter salt line. Is the reason that, Steve, that you put it back down to 175, just expected not to need the 195?
We haven't expended up there. I mean, it's always a hit or miss. We could, if we had a really snowy season, we wouldn't use as much as if we have a rainy season with ice. I mean, my thing also is looking at actuals for 2025. We're at 128. So I was saying, yeah, you can have an increase, but just not as high.
We like to budget on my, well, I say we, myself, is like if you were to have a regular winter, not these. We've been very fortunate for several years now. Got a little interesting last year for a little while, but then it calmed down. So that we're not trying to find something, but that's something that's gone back and forth for years.
Thank you.
And just in my years, unless it's been like 2015 when we had 30 feet of snow, we've not come close to using, let me take that back. If there was an international incident, yes, we maybe come close because you can't get the salt into the port, but other than that, it's very rare.
That was nuts. Okay. Counselor Glazebrook, and then we'll come back to you,
Yeah.
Counselor Dornbrook.
So we already were salting and plowing and taking care of those roads. That's part of why we wanted to take over.
Main
them.
Street, we did. Grant,
Yeah, we do, yeah, there's a portion of 108 we weren't. but
Okay,
Grant Road and Packers Falls.
so it'd be a little increase, but
So
not.
Jerry Ave, that little street here, and a portion of 108, they
In-
were treating it.
In addition to what we were doing, was the state also salting?
Yes, they just come through, they won't do
Yeah.
anything beyond the fog line. So
Okay.
when you get downtown, they won't touch them.
All right. Thank you.
And then Counselor Dornbrook, and then Counselor Blackstone.
Could you explain the construction line, what falls under that?
That is, like the sidewalks, rehabbing the sidewalks or expanding some of the sidewalks.
Okay, so that
Doing
is
general
exclusive of
routine
the-
maintenance of the current sidewalks and some of the new.
Okay. And since we added, so the construction in FY '25, though, that the amount in FY '25 actuals reflects the additional sidewalks sidewalk extension that we put in?
That was the South Main Grant Road to
Yeah.
Briellia. That's
Okay.
what that
Are
specifically.
Are there
is.
any plans for sidewalk construction for next year?
Yes, yes. We have some funds in the capital reserve and here. And we have a plan for the sidewalks,
Right.
for the expansions.
so where?
I believe it's Bennett Way, but
Hey,
I believe.
And considering that costs continue to increase, would there be any benefit to speeding up sidewalk construction? So as to, anticipating cost increases in 4 or 5 years down the road, would there be any benefit to speeding that up so to meet our current goals and avoid those increases?
I don't think we could afford to do that per se, but we also do this with our own staff. We don't contract, very minimal gets contracted out for those projects.
Yeah.
It's setting the curb and the paving that we don't do, but everything else we do with our staff. If we had put that out for like someone else to do, it'd be a $400,000 project.
So even if we had more funds available to do that, we might not have the labor.
That's correct. We can
Okay.
only do so much.
Okay.
And we can't afford to put it out
Yeah.
to bid. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then Counselor Blackstone, and back to you, Counselor Glazebrook.
So the master plan calls for more signage on alternative parking spaces and a variety of things. Do we have, is that in here, or do we have a budget for additional signage?
I've got, well, this isn't actually Rick, this is actually Bart. We're doing a RFP for wayfinding this year, we have the money, so we'll be getting a proposal on how to do it correctly. And then, after that's done, then we come back and ask for funds.
Okay.
And just to answer your question per se, the line item under general supplies, that's where all the signage is. It's all in that line.
But for the parking situation, that's gonna be a much larger project. It'll be similar to what Portsmouth has done recently, Rochester, Dover, where you see comprehensive signage package throughout the community saying, this is where you go to town hall, this is where you go to park, this is where you go to library. That's what we're looking for the wayfinding. That's what the transportation committee was.
Yeah, I thought they had done that. So
No, that's the next step.
hurry up.
It's not the committee.
Okay. Counselor Glazebrook.
Am I correct in assuming that, similar to new roads, you also don't want to build all of your sidewalks all at once so that they're staggered when they need to be repaired in the future.
Yeah.
And
And we always try to make the projects kind of follow the paving program, so we're not tearing something up and not paving it at the same,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Any other questions or discussion? All right.
Okay, next, street lighting, which is page 77.
F 80 and 81. Where
Oh, I'm sorry.
are you?
Maybe I'm looking wrong.
I'm probably on the wrong page.
Nope, I'm wrong.
No,
80.
okay.
The street lighting is every street light in the town, at intersections, parks, parking lots, it's anything that's out there. Not ball field lighting, but the streets and sidewalks and parking lots. Parks.
Councilor Mattina.
I was under the impression that all the street lightings were all LED now. Is that not true?
They are.
They are.
They are.
They are,
Yep.
that's accurate,
Yeah, that was like 6-7 years ago.
yeah.
I had heard that, but then somebody said no.
The ones down on Main Street, the ornamental lights got swapped out, all the parks, and all the ones on the telephone poles through Eversource are LED. If you see one that's not, it's not a town light. There's a few here or there that are like like out here, that's like the churches or somebody's.
And Director Molesky, how much of this budget is, I think we have a service, right? So we contract out for the streetlights and because I remember you saying we pay for them whether they're on or off, so.
The way
Is-
Eversource charges municipalities for streetlights is, yes, we pay a flat fee by number of lights, so we don't pay a per hour like rate, like
Okay.
you think most of them do. We pay per light.
Okay,
That's why I say we pay if they're on or off.
Okay.
So please let us know if your streetlight's not working. We're paying for it.
and how much of this is the to Eversource and how much of this is for other things?
All of it's to 30,000 is to Eversource, 6,000 is for fixtures.
Okay, okay,
So 6,500, sorry.
thank you. Councilor Blackstone.
Yeah, so I was, I don't know why, I had the impression that Eversource put in the lights. Do we install the physical light?
If a light on a telephone pole goes out, Eversource maintains it. If an ornamental light, that's ours. We take care of that ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. We
So
took,
these fixtures, then, that's for the stuff on Main Street? and-
It's but if a light goes out on a pole, Eversource doesn't just give it to us for free. If they say that light, that head has to be replaced, they send me a bill for that new light.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they don't just say, here you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They rip you off both on the electricity and the lights.
Councilor Mattina.
Sort of budget related. Do you ever do an audit of all the street lights?
We have.
Have
We've
done?
done that, yeah. We've done it like 4 times in my career here.
I know we did one, that's when we switched over to LED. We did it when,
We did one just fairly recently.
yeah.
But
Did you
yes.
find stuff that you were being billed for that didn't exist? Or
No, it wasn't so much that as it was, we found lights that were probably not appropriate anymore. Like, back in the day, I think people were like, hey, I want a street light here, and they just got it. And we don't, they're typically at an intersection, at a bad curve, or, they're not just in the downtown a little more, but if you get on the outskirts, you'll notice, you see a street light, it's at an intersection where there's a stop sign type of thing.
Cool, all right.
But we found some that were like randomly kind of like not really necessary, so we did remove a few that type of thing.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Okay.
Bridges, 82.
No increase here. This is for maintaining the guardrails essentially on all the bridges. When they get damaged, we typically, if it's from a motor vehicle accident, we do get, the insurance company does reimburse us. But sometimes we have to repair them, and it's not due to a car accident.
Seeing no questions.
Okay. Buildings and grounds, 84.
Biggest thing here is, it's again, salaries, building maintenance, part-time salaries. there's a couple of full-time salaried people in this line item, and then the rest is seasonal. So you'll see full-time and part-time. The part-time people seasonal, they work April to right around the 1st of December, depending on the weather conditions.
Okay. Counselor Drumblett.
What does building maintenance include?
All the town buildings, so I take care of every building in the town.
No, right, but what is it,
does that mean?
what's being paid out of that line?
Servicing the HVACs, the furnaces, repairs to door locks, lights, ballast, you name it. The fire extinguishers, the alarm systems, all that stuff that has to get annually tested, all those types of things. Minor repairs to certain, a
Okay.
door latch or
So it's general maintenance?
general maintenance.
Okay.
Most of it's the building services.
A few years ago, we didn't actually have a general maintenance line, and any time that we had like a broken door, we had to come to the town council to withdraw it from a capital reserve fund, even though it would be like $500. And at that point, the council's like, no, we gotta put something, because it takes time, it would take time to fix a door. So that's what that is.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Generator maintenance is that a contract or is that something that you perform as well?
We perform what we can, and then we do have a contract with a company for stuff we can't.
Okay. And similar to with equipment maintenance, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Counselor Blackstone.
Does this include school buildings?
No.
No,
No.
no. But we do take care of all those ball fields. So even though the school owns all that land up there, we
Right.
mow them, fertilize them, take care of the infield, stripe the fields, do all that stuff.
And that's under the grounds maintenance?
Yes,
Right.
yeah. The grounds in the parks, maintenance, all that, those line items.
Right, and it made me think, I assume the school has a generator, but
They do not.
oh, they don't?
They refuse to put one in.
We've been
we
fighting
tried to
them
get
for years on that.
Oh,
They refused to do it when they did all that work.
So, like, go off subject a little bit so you get to know this, the emergency management team requested that during the school reconstruction, they put in a generator as a shelter location for the community. The school said no. Because they have a place that we could feed people and shower, and if we put a generator in, you could have it. The school district said no. So we have to, if right now our shelter is, we do not have a overnight shelter, we have a warming place, which is the community center. And if we had a massive shelter, we'd actually probably have to go to Durham.
We usually coordinate with Durham and Exeter.
Yeah.
If it's a major type of thing, we would
isn't
say.
it a fire issue? I mean, if they lost power, then all their fire alarm systems, does that still
Well, the
work?
battery lasts for so long, the battery backup, but
Okay.
yeah, they wouldn't be able to use the building. They can't.
Yeah.
Huh.
Counselor Eagleson, and then Counselor Wood.
I have some question about that. Was that due to cost or just because we had been working with Durham and Exeter?
No, we believe it was cost. And and the chiefs and I at the time were actually gonna look for grants through Homeland Security to help assist with it.
Technically, they can't open the school on a generator, so.
Right,
it
but we
doesn't
can
count
use
there.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be a good opportunity for a collaborative project.
We've tried.
Yeah.
We've tried.
Let's try it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Counselor Wood.
That was my question.
Okay. Counselor Lamatina.
The Riverwalk down by Shannon Park, is that under here or is that on
No, that's
Conservation.
separate. I mean, Shanda Park, we take care of that area with the parks and ground stuff, but as far as the Riverwalk and all that
That's
right.
right.
future talk stuff, that's not.
is that under, would that be under here or under the roads and sidewalks?
It would be in here.
So, if I understand there's significant work required there.
There's major work that needs to be done down there, and that's all being evaluated right now.
Okay.
But we're not even, I mean, we haven't signed the paperwork yet to buy it. So never mind doing
No,
any planning.
the Riverwalk part that's
town.
I think he's talking about Shanda Park and the retaining.
Oh, that's gonna be,
That-
that's gonna need so much work, it cannot be an operational
Yeah.
cost, that's gonna be a bond.
That'll be a special thing.
Just to be clear, I'm talking about, it's not Rivermore, but the other. That's what? Lang's Wharf. Landing.
Why?
Lang's Wharf.
Lang's Wharf, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the condos, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So that would
that'll be
be-
a separate, that won't be here.
A whole separate thing?
Yeah.
So we're talking not the next year or so, more than the next year or so.
Right, because we need planning and we need
We're still-
designs
It's
and,
all being evaluated.
Is that a-
we don't know, yeah, what do you ask, what are you trying to get at, I guess?
Yeah.
Well, I just.
Stop beating the bush, let's get.
So on the Riverfront Advisory Committee,
Yes.
that's one of the things that keeps coming up is that the maintenance down there isn't very good. Something has to be done at some point in time. I was just wondering if that's here, if that's Bard, where.
We have not, well, no, not Bart's planning, but we have not gotten any plans from the Riverfront Advisory Committee or recommendations to do that yet.
Okay, I'll do that.
Well, it's too late, I mean, the budget's done, we can't just sit and say, oh, we want to do it.
Well, it's
And not put it in the budget.
It has been brought up a whole number of times about who's responsible for maintenance down there.
It's, we don't have it, I'm looking at the engineer too, what am I missing? You gotta come up to him, Mike.
Not to throw things off, but we'll throw things off.
My understanding is that
You need to be at a mic.
currently Shanda Park is, the Buildings and Grounds Department does some of the minor maintenance, but it's also under the purview of the Conservation Commission, who's not necessarily set up to do significant maintenance projects and like redos. So we have the general committee, I suppose, of staff members that are discussing how to transition maintenance responsibility and kind of the ownership and management, stewardship of Shanda Park within different departments. So it's not currently a major line item. Minor maintenance is covered under Buildings and Grounds budget lines, and the Buildings and Grounds Department does the like managing the trash barrels, removing the trash, cleaning up the plantings and that kind of stuff. Redos of walkways and retaining walls and major projects like that are part of the bigger plan for redevelopment and renovation, I guess you could say, at Shanda Park. So that's the bigger project, that would be a capital request.
Okay, so I guess my understanding of that, it was our responsibility. We're saying, yeah, it's sort of our responsibility, but we don't have any plans at this point in time to do anything. Is that?
Major improvements, no.
I think, so that section that goes from the boat ramp to Rivermore that we have an easement on,
Yeah.
if they're referring to that, there are people that live there that have a different vision for that than what was built and created. We maintain what's there. There's a lot of plants, there's a lot of this and that. They don't like the lights, they don't like the look of the lights, they don't like, and we're not just gonna rip all that out. We don't have a budget to do that, and that was created years ago. There is a little bit of settlement here or there, like the wall and stuff like that, where the ramps are and stuff. There is some stuff that's going on there, but there's nothing down there that's necessarily unsafe, I guess, in that specific area.
Okay, all right, so I have to go back to the committee, and we have to discuss this, I think, and come back.
Yeah, my understanding was we're gonna do a master plan at some point of Shanda Park, especially with the possible acquisition of 11 Creighton Street, and then we'll come up with probably one large bond to take care of everything.
Well, and we also, if I may, have a warrant article request to
Right.
get survey. So in March, we'll be voting on a stormwater planning SRF project, or principal forgiveness, for up to 100,000, so that we can get survey done of that whole area, because we can't start to develop a plan without knowing
what's
what
actually-
currently exists and understanding the complexities in the permitting. So we have a plan to get that underway next year.
And if I may, this could probably go for all of our projects. When the council says, let's fix Shanda Park, or let's do something at wastewater, our first step isn't shovel in the ground. Our first step is survey. That takes one fiscal year. The next fiscal year, if we do the survey, would be go for RFP for design work. That goes another one. Then the next fiscal year would be, okay, let's find out what it costs if we can afford it. That's the third fiscal year. So when we say, let's do this, it's gonna take 2 or 3 years. Because we've gotta go through the whole process of, in just designing something to get sure. I mean, we'd love to be able to just put a shovel down and say, fix it, but with a lot of regulations, and we've gotta make sure we're doing it correctly.
So we do take care of that area, but there's a lot of vision for that whole area. There's a lot of plans and planning to change that whole area. So we're just kind of maintaining the bare minimum right now, but there's a lot of requests to make some changes in that specific area from some residents that have a different vision, and I think that's maybe where that's what people are referring to with that, if that makes sense.
Counselor Blackstone?
I'm on the Charter Commission, and the Charter Commission is very interested in finding ways for the town and the school to work together. And I think just before Lindsay, we had that guy who was gonna do both the town and the school, and he lasted
did.
like 2 weeks and he quit. remember?
No, it lasted more than 2 weeks.
Okay.
He lasted a few years.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought it was really short.
No, we shared a buildings and grounds director, his name was Greg Marles. He was an employee of the town when we contracted with the school, no, he was an employee of the schools, and we contracted with the school district to provide our buildings and ground. On the flip side is we had a finance director that am I getting the right sharing, correct? Who was a town employee, but we contracted with the schools. So we did have shared services during one school administration. In a change of administrations, the leadership determined they didn't want that any longer. And during the high school renovations, they canceled the contract for buildings and grounds and kept them as an employee just of the school. We have a buildings and ground manager who does a great job, unbelievable. But when we do shared services with the school district with buildings and grounds, because legally, and there have been cases on this, we plow parking lots, sidewalks, those kind of things for the school district. There was a case that said, no, that's actually the cost of the school district, and they need to get their own plows. That's ridiculous. We have one. So we do that. As Rick said, we do maintenance on fields, because it's ridiculous. We have the staff to do that. But yeah, we did have a position. It's just that he was here probably 3 years, 4 years?
There was a couple.
Yeah, and we got a lot of good things out of it. But yeah, the school administration changed, and
No, so I thought that was maybe too far.
yeah.
But I was wondering if you saw any additional opportunities for the school and the town to work together.
So they have a new individual that just takes care of their buildings, who we have a very good working relationship with. And the superintendent and the town manager and I all have a very good working relationship to work together now. And that wasn't necessarily the case a few years ago. So I think it's much improved.
Rick and I are still here.
Todd's very, very good to
Yeah.
work with.
Yeah, I've met him, he seems very nice.
Yeah,
very competent, yeah.
we meet all the time, and we met.
We're always trying to help each other
Yeah.
in some way.
Okay, that's,
Okay,
Okay,
looks like we're done with that.
next one, 88 cemeteries. This is always my favorite, because the first year somebody said, why do we need a gate at the cemetery?
This line item is the cemetery on Elm Street, the cemetery behind the Sunrise Sunset, and the small one up here on South Main Street at Cheswell. Those are the three cemeteries that this budget takes care of. There's a partial of one full-time employee and a seasonal person that works April to November.
And this is
Strictly
everything from
mowing, weed whacking. and-
digging vaults.
yeah, and Counselor Ward does all the rest of them.
Okay.
Okay,
Questions or discussion? Okay,
The next is vehicles, which is 91. And while Rick is all of them, it also includes other departments' vehicles. We just have one vehicle maintenance department, because at one point we did have a in-house vehicle maintenance.
Yeah, we used to have our own mechanic. We contract out what we can't handle now with a local garage. And this is just, the increases in here are a reflection of kind of where we're expending. And, but there's really nothing necessarily new here or an expansion of equipment that we take care of. It's all the same stuff. It's just basically the cost of doing business. And the bulk of this stuff is contracted out now. It used to be in-house.
Counselor Blackstone.
Yeah, so I think I've asked this question before, but have we considered, with our lawyer, we just say so many dollars a year and they just handle any legal problem we've got, right? It's not by the hour, right? Have we ever gone to a garage and said, how about you just fix any problem we got for some yearly rate, and it doesn't matter what it is?
Yeah, that's not how it works. It's all basically a percentage on the parts and whatever it is for them to fix it. We have some set rates for like oil changes and inspections, but any work like that's not the norm.
Yeah.
It's just an hourly flat rate and an after hours, because we function 24/7 at the police, fire, and public works in the winter. They have to, we need them when we need them. So they, we call them at 1 in the morning if we need to, or a lot of after hour interruptions for this stuff.
Yeah, one consideration too is, in an emergency, if you have a vehicle that you're gonna be paid hourly to do versus when you get a flat fee and you're figure out project maintenance, you probably go with the hourly one before you do the flat fee. That's our only problem when it comes to vehicle maintenance in that situation.
Other questions on vehicles? Okay. Seeing none?
We're going to do a big jump because we have solid waste on page 125. This is a special revenue fund because we do currently use the revenue from the pay-as-you-throw system to offset the budget. It does not cover the entire budget. We are seeing an increase of $20,000. The Public Works Director and I just met Thursday?
This week, yeah.
Thursday or Wednesday, on a potential extension with Casella to get us another 3 years with their contract. It was part of the contract. We'll bring it to the council. That will get us to a position where we can figure out what's going to happen with solid waste in the state when it comes to collection and pay-as-you-throw system versus getting rid of those bags. And the reason why is most of the collections are going automated because they don't have the people working for them anymore, so it'll be what you see in the movies where the arm comes down, picks it up, throws it in the back.
So this would be a 3-year extension to the contract within which we use the pay-as-you-throw system?
Yeah, we'll still continue
By
that.
the Newmarket trash bags?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And one of the big changes, it's actually going to be a flat fee versus a tonnage rate.
Yeah. Okay. Questions on solid waste? Counselor Blackstone?
Yeah, so who is Casella? Is that the MSW or the recycling company?
It's everything.
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 Okay,
Oh,
so
they're
those both.
everything. Okay, so they break it out. Which one is they come around and pick up the garbage?
That's
Both.
MSW.
Yeah.
MSW.
MSW
okay.
is the regular trash and recycling is everything else. And this is for the transfer station operation and the curbside at everybody's door.
And does recycling also include metal?
That's all done through the transfer station, but yes.
I know, I understand that.
Yeah. We
So
get
it's
paid-
all
we
the
get-
dumpsters, it's the metal and plus any bags or anything?
Correct.
Yeah.
And we get paid, we get paid for the metal. We get revenue for the metal.
Yeah, but as I remember, you don't think you get paid very much.
It's not a lot, but it's,
Yeah.
we get something. The trucking's the biggest thing because they take the trucking out
Yeah,
and there's always trucking, you can't make that go away.
We have these gigantic piles of leaves and stuff. Do we have to haul that out every once in a
So
while?
what we do is we're actually gonna start screening it, hopefully before winter. We let that sit, then we run it through a screener, and we make compost, and we'll mix it with loam, and we'll put a pile up there, and people come and take it.
Is that a concern that there's knotweed and stuff in it?
It's pretty much all leaves and lawn clippings.
Okay.
We haven't had an issue with that.
Counselor,
okay.
Sorry,
No,
Counselor
go ahead.
Blackstone, sorry. Counselor Eagleson.
I just had a question about the composting thing you just said. When you said people come and take it, do you mean residents come and just take it for free? Is it a...
Yeah, we haven't charged them.
Okay.
We screen it up. We put a lot of it in with our loam that we use on projects and mix it, but we leave some up there, and people typically come up and put it in their pickups and take it. It's pretty nice stuff.
And where is it located?
Right at the transfer station.
Hey.
Yeah. There's really not a machine to load it, but people do like it.
Counselor Dornblit, and then Counselor Lamatina.
What's the Lamprey Regional Co-op?
So, back in, since I don't want to be, but I'm on the board. At one point in time, the municipalities in this greater seacoast were trying to figure out what to do with their solid waste. So they decided to band together and put a incinerator at the University of New Hampshire. That was that big stack near the football. We are still paying for the closure of that and the maintenance of our, like midterm cell, where the ash and all that stuff went in Somersworth after. So we have to pay continuously on that.
And we're a member of that co-op with the towns that were in it back
Yeah.
in the day, and they usually negotiate the tipping fee with turnkey, which is pretty good.
It is.
rate that we pay. And it's kind of like looked at of all of us, not just us on our own. So
Gotcha.
it's kind of good for us.
So we do derive a benefit,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not just the cost.
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Counselor Lamatina.
So, two questions. So with the contract extension, are the bags, the orange bags right now, I assume the price is going to remain the same? They're going to be keeping the price the same in the next couple of years? The contract extension?
We're gonna look.
Okay.
I mean, costs are costs. We have to, I mean, that was one of our shame on us things for a long time. We never increased our costs. I mean, technically, we should be covering the entire cost of our solid waste collections, but we do not.
And if we were covering the cost of
You'd be
solid
paying a
waste-
lot more.
I know, that's probably not going to fly.
No, but that's why we're doing it what we can, but we also underpriced them for a long time compared to other communities.
You'd see a lot more junk in the recycling bins. is what
Exactly.
you'd see.
Another question, if I may. We had plans at one point in time for a compactor up at the transfer station.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
still?
We're still working that out with Casella.
And will that, I assume that will save some money?
It'll save a little on the trucking.
That's it?
That's what we're hoping, not to have so many pulls, yeah.
Do we have a time frame for that?
We're working on the new contract and trying to work that in so we don't buy it, that they buy it, and then it's ours at the end.
Very
That's kind
good.
of the plan. It's an expensive piece of equipment.
Okay.
Done solid waste, and I'm gonna ask the fire chief to come up. Who is also from Public Works, right? And we're on page 94.
So, fire. The big thing is the salaries, obviously. We have 2 full-time employees, if you technically don't count me where I wear the 2 hats, but we kind of, you count me as 3. But we have 2. We currently just have 1 person in that position. We've had an opening for quite some time. Nobody wants to do the job anymore. The part-time salaries, that's all per diem pretty much now. We have per diem people, which is a benefit to the town, in my opinion, because we're not paying retirement and health care. They're working somewhere else full-time, they come here, they work at 24 for us. We just pay them an hourly rate, and we're covering the shifts. That's really just 2 people on 24/7 with that's what this salary line pretty much covers. It's just a 24-hour coverage of 2 people.
Just my rationale for my difference between for the part-time and the full-time and the chiefs, as long as there's a vacant position, we're going to be using part-time more. But if we fill that vacant position with a full-time position for individual, we won't be using that. So either, if we put it in both, then we're double booking. Right now, if we have a vacancy, we're just going to take the money from the full-time and offset the part-time. But, I know we are still using more per diem, that's why I didn't drastically cut it.
Yeah. And the other thing, I just want to point out, if you look at the request here, we would look more like the PD if we had full-time people here all the time, like all full-time people.
Yeah.
This budget would look like the police.
My previous community, I was in Northampton, and it was a 24 on, 24 off, 3 firefighters on every shift. And it was probably at that point in time, $1.7 million for the fire.
We're much more busier. The ambulances are out of control. It's just busy. We're very busy.
And to be honest, that's why we're doing the study as well. Because at some point in time, the system's we're gonna have to look at a new system. I should be signing hopefully within a week or 2, get that finalized, because we've all agreed to the individuals to do it.
Real quick question, you'd mentioned how busy the ambulances are. Can you tell me what the ambulance expenses line item is? Because that seems comically low if we're really busy. What does that refer to?
If you look at ambulance expenses, that is, like, if we use a paramedic that's not ours, I have to pay a fee for them to come.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Thank you.
Yeah. Medical supply, a lot of that stuff is stock in the ambulances.
Okay. So this ambulance expenses line isn't really the cost of the ambulance is running, it's this tiny little thing for a fee
It's a bill I get every
Okay.
month if I don't have a medic on and I
Got
have
it.
to utilize a medic from another place.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Blackstone?
Uniforms, is that turnout gear?
Nope, that's their regular duty uniforms.
Where is turnout gear? Is that hazmat?
That's under equipment purchases.
Equipment purchases.
Yeah, that's where we put the gear.
So do we have enough money in there? It's a small town, right? So everybody knows that not everybody gets turnout gear. And
Everybody's supposed to have 2 sets of turnout gear.
yeah,
We are not fortunate enough to have that. We are not in that situation.
right. Shouldn't we be in that situation?
Well, in a perfect world, yes. There are some people that work for us that are strictly medical. I'm not buying them a $5,000 set of turnout gear because they don't ever go into a burning building. And the other challenge is this gear expires every 10 years.
Yeah, I know that,
And you
yeah.
have
And I was going to say, and I know right now there's a look at different type of gear. I know
Yeah.
Dover's going through a,
Exeter just bought everybody 2
This
sets.
is a non-PTFE
Yeah,
gear.
it gets rid of all
yeah.
These part-time salary people, they're basically volunteers, right? I mean, they're
There's no more volunteer here. Everybody's paid.
Okay,
You're either
but-
full-time or per diem. That's
Right.
where we're at.
But you know what I'm saying? They're people who do other things and they do this kind of on the side, right?
No.
not anymore.
No.
No?
These are
people, this is their
firefighters
full-
working in Rochester, Dover, Portsmouth,
Right.
Massachusetts. I have guys from Mass now. I have a Boston guy. I have a. so-
Okay, but I think if we are talking about, this is only 800,000 versus, if we did it full-time, it'd be, 1.5 million. I think it'd be prudent for us to have 2 turnout gears per guy that's going into a building or whatever, fire person. I think to compromise on safety is never a good idea or a good look. Right?
Well, the guys that need the turnout gear to go into a burning building have good turnout gear. They do.
Okay, and they have one set?
They have most of those people have two, because when
Oh,
you have to
okay.
wash it, it's out of service for
Right.
24 hours, and you can't not have your gear. It's the people that are just like a paramedic working,
Yeah.
that don't go interior into a burning building.
Right,
They don't need turnout. They should have a SAT, but I'm not gonna spend $5,000 they don't have to make sure they have that gear to stand outside and wait for somebody to need them, type of thing.
They're basically on-call ambulance, not on-call fire.
right.
But everybody should have two sets of gear. That's the way it's supposed to be. And the interior people do. Those people do.
So everybody that goes into a burning
Everybody,
building
everybody
has two
that
sets.
goes.
And they are renewed as per their expiration.
As soon as it expires, it's a liability. We throw it in the trash.
Right,
Yep.
okay.
Because if something happens to that individual and it's expired, we're all in a lot
Yep.
of trouble.
Right, and this 30,000 is enough to cover that.
It's, we don't have enough money to buy gear. It's becoming more of a struggle because the gear's going up and up all the time, and it's expensive. And the new stuff, I haven't looked into it yet because it's just coming out. I can imagine it's probably more expensive than this other stuff because it's more healthier for you.
Yeah.
You know, that type of deal. But, yeah, someday that number's definitely gonna have to increase because we won't be able to manage it the way we are right now.
Okay, but you think for the next fiscal year, this is enough to keep everybody that goes into a building
Yes,
with two sets of turnout gear?
yes. If I
Okay.
didn't, that number would be bigger, and I'd be asking you to increase it if Steve cut it.
Okay. Counselor Lamatino?
Where is the equipment lease? The equipment lease for fire, since those are large ones, we withdraw the money from the capital reserve funds annually, so that it's not a line item.
So it's,
Yeah,
unlike the police.
Right.
Yeah.
police, we took all out, it's all just through taxation, because every year we were putting $40,000 in and then withdrawing $40,000 for the same amount of money. And and 40,000 is actually it's just a right-out purchase, it's not a lease for cruises. Cruises are not considered, are almost to the point they're not considered a capital item, because we replace them every year.
The other place I can purchase now, because they changed the RSA on it for gear, is that ambulance
Ambulance
revolving
rate.
fund. We put 100 in now, or 75, I forget, we changed it
Yeah.
recently. But I can use that. That used to be specific for just the ambulance. Now I can use it for radios, gear, vehicles. They changed the law. It's broadened, anything to do with the fire department. If we need something, we can use that fund to help purchase stuff.
Okay,
We typically use that just to buy the ambulances, though. That's what we've been pretty much using that for faithfully. We did buy some air packs with it, I believe, but we also have that fund.
Okay.
The next budget is emergency management, which is 98. It is level funded. I am the emergency management director. This is usually grants, and if it's a matching grant, for example, this year we're gonna have, last year we updated our hazard mitigation plan.
Thank
This-
you.
As soon as you update the hazard mitigation
Thanks.
plan, we update the emergency operations plan. So that's what happens if one of these situations comes through. Homeland Security pays most of it, but we do have to do a matching fee, so. That's it. Questions? Okay, next, library.
Where is the library? Where is in the back, right?
It is on page
It's right by the rec.
117. Andrew, come on up if you're ready. Unless are you waiting for trustees, or? If you want, I can just go with somebody else.
Yeah, we can.
I just notified them it should be here by...
Let me go with, then we'll go to planning and community development and CIP.
Take a 10-minute break?
Oh, 10-minute break, that's fine.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Andrew Capital.
Yeah. Thanks. We are now. Okay, the next department, we're gonna go to Planning and Community Development. He's gonna be here for a few of these. We're on page 53, please.
Okay, which is named Planning and Community Development.
Planning and Community Development.
Good morning, councilors. As you can see in front of you, we have some slight increases due to the following. First one.
Could I just trouble you? I know you've done this before, Bart, but just introduce yourself
Oh,
and just make your name and...
My name is Bart McDonough. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
It's a $14,000 increase. I don't know, I think I put an extra line in there.
It seems to say negative 100%.
Yeah, there's a,
Part-time salaries.
That's funny.
yeah, there's an extra column in there.
It's really 8%.
There's an extra column?
Yeah. See, it says there's a reduction in the other 2007 versus 2006 with a reduction, but that's not the right one. Jeez. For some reason, I'm missing the two appropriated.
It's a reverse of the,
Yeah.
the fourth column is a reverse of the fifth column.
Right, that's it. So the no, I'm not giving, no, because I actually don't have the 2017 expenditures in there under the, by object.
Oh, you don't have that.
2017?
I mean 2027, sorry. Bill, are you looking?
I am.
I guess I can look at this
I'm
one.
looking back at two different ones.
Page 50. Yeah, the
So
physical.
Yep,
we are looking at the planning budget right now, right?
correct.
Planning, yeah. So your numbers are right,
Right,
and your bottom line number is correct.
it's just something with that,
It's an 8% increase.
right,
That's
with
what-
that chart.
That's what it works out to, so.
Yeah, it's correct in here.
Okay. Happen.
It's probably just a
Yeah,
When did you-
editing thing.
I was just curious as to when you printed your,
we printed them.
oh, that
We,
came
they
out
don't
next
print them, we
day.
print them.
Okay.
So I don't know
That
what,
would be-
anyways.
Glad
Extra-
yours
and
is
there's an
right.
extra column in the digital one, which
Yeah.
is
Interesting.
confusing, but we can go with this. All right. So-
Ready? Great.
Do it.
So, we'll start with membership and dues. A lot of this budget item goes to paying for Stratford Regional Planning Commission dues, membership, and it's probably going to be, we always increase a year because of, their costs and everything, but it's a little more significant this year because the state didn't fund the RPCs this year in their budget, so they're going to have to pay a little more. So that's just what that line, that anticipation for that line item is. Staff and training, kind of what Sean's doing. He's doing kind of long-range planning that way, but I also want to give opportunities for our staff, and then also plan board and zoning board, if they ever want any opportunities to do additional training. So that's what that increase is for. And then general supplies, just kind of keeping up with inflation there. And then the mapping items, tax maps and mapping supplies. We have a computer program called ArcGIS, so I use that pretty frequently, and so it's just paying for those subscriptions. And then we are anticipating updating our tax maps this year, so usually we contract with SRPC, Stratford Regional Planning Commission, to update those. So it's just to kind of pay for that. And part-time salaries, we are anticipating more community engagement, so we did recently hire a conservation minute taker, so there might be opportunities to utilize that person for additional work at addition committees. So again, just budgeting for that because we're just going to do a lot more outreach. So that's the gist of the budget from my department.
Counselor Dornblatt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The SRPC dues, what falls under that? I know that we contract with them for a specific work as well. What do they perform, or what do they offer to us that we are paying with the dues?
Yeah, a lot of it's for like transportation stuff. So a lot of the transportation work that they provide us come out of the dues. There are some additional mapping on-call situations that we can use them for. But primarily it's through their charge is through the MPO.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's MPO stuff.
Yeah.
And can I keep going? Yes. The mapping supplies, we have an actual of 4,000 and we're budgeting 7,000.
Yeah.
Just updating that.
What additional?
That's for that mapping software I was talking about.
That's the software?
Yeah. So
It's
we
expensive.
actually.
Is that a one-time purchase, or is that a?
Nope, it's a subscription.
Subscription.
Yeah. So they got this on that track. So and so it's just to update those programs. So we have to pay for that.
Will that give us nicer maps?
What's that?
Will that give us nicer maps?
Oh, well, I guess I need more training then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I know you mentioned that the Stratford Regional Planning Commission confers some benefits. We get some things from them. Can you talk just really briefly around what's the role of our engagement with this? Like, why wouldn't we just do this stuff ourselves? Like, why are we involved in the
Yeah.
SRPC?
Well, it's kind of one, they really help us out with the transportation items, so, because their main charge is to manage the federal funds that help our transportation network, and we study our transportation, improve our transportation network. So we want to be connected with them, so we can provide those benefits to our community, which we rely on heavily, and we are, very great collaboration between the town and the commission. Also, I think it's really important to have that regional context. So they provide that forum where we can go and connect with other communities who are that have similar challenges. So if anything, it's a way to collaborate with our neighbors as well. And then so being part of that group allows us to be part at the table, having these conversations, so which is really important. So I think those two benefits, it's worth the funds. There are other instances that allows them to do their job better. So they do a lot of regional analysis as well. So that those funds go towards that. So allow them to have the staff, allow them to develop those plans. So for instance, a regional housing analysis they recently did, that those funds go towards that type of work.
And another part is, say if there's a large development in one of the surrounding communities, it's going to impact all of us. So it really to focus on, as it says, regional planning, because planning doesn't stop at the town border. So they help facilitate that part of it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or discussions on this item? Okay.
Okay, we're going to go to the next one. Actually, we're going to go back to page 40 for code enforcement. It does fall under. Okay, sorry.
43.
43. I need a ruler. Main increase is due to salaries.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, Dave, so the salaries, just a clarification, it's my salary, the planning and code enforcement salary line items, they also pay for the land use administrator, so that's part of it as well.
It's a shared position between the two.
Okay. Questions on code enforcement?
Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to go back to to page 56 for Conservation Commission. There is a increase, but the director will explain why for under contractual services.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, let me just get to the page, excuse me. Yes, so, over the past, at least as long as I've been here, 3 years or so, the Conservation Commission has taken the approach of contracting out their responsibilities for easement monitoring. So as you may know, the town has a lot of easements, and there's responsibilities under those easements to maintain them.
What does that mean?
Oh,
Easement
it means
monitoring
so-
and maintain. What
Yeah,
are we
so
doing when we're doing that
monitoring,
stuff?
so making sure that the town is meeting its responsibilities under the easement agreement. So, and then also making sure that nothing's being infringed upon that easement. So for instance, butters going on and using the land how it's not supposed to be used. So typically how that's done is a yearly easement monitoring. So you go, do the preliminary, follow the preliminary, and then make sure you take up, you assess, the land and making sure that it's being, one, maintained as envisioned, and two, there's just no encroachment onto those easements. So, as we all know, the Conservation Commission is a voluntary board. It's hard to get folks out there sometimes, so this is consistency, and it's done by a professional staff. So the typical entity that the commission has hired is Southeast Land Trust to do this.
Oh,
So this is why you see that major increase.
Questions on the Conservation Commission budget? Okay.
We're going to go next to 58, which is economic development. This is level funded. This is usually what we use for consultants, other economic development items. For example, this year, this is where we're doing the wayfinding signs from, because we consider that part of economic development, to do the study for there. But usually that's what it is, a catch-all for anything that help development and studies. Okay.
Any questions on that one? Okay.
Now we'll go to contribution to capital reserve funds. For those who don't know, Newmarket's unique because of our former government that unless having separate warrant articles for each capital reserve fund contribution, we budget this.
What page is this?
Oh, I'm sorry,
Is this in here?
111.
Thank you.
This year, and this is also part of the capital improvement process, they come up with recommendations on items that we need to suggest amounts that we should be funding. It's the town manager's job to determine the funding amount versus what we can afford and make that recommendation to the council. As you can see, the recommendation was for contributions to capital reserve funds was a little under 1.2 million. That would add almost $1 to the tax rate. So I had to try to figure out a way to level it. I am looking at a $41,000 increase for a $664,420 contribution to capital reserve funds. The big changes are for dispatch at $29,000. They are updating their systems, but they're going to need some additional equipment with the grants, knock on wood, that we can get through the feds. I increased the 300th anniversary celebration by $5,000 to $10,000, doubled it, because it'll be that year. Master plan is up to $12,000, just increased cost from the master plan that we're seeing. And the library is requesting an additional $20,000. They can address that when it's their turn to discuss the budget, but everything else I level funded. One of the things that I try to do is the amount of money we contribute to capital reserve funds is close to the same amount of money that we withdraw from our fund balance, undesignated unreserved fund balance, which is the surplus. That way, we don't have, if for some reason we don't have the fund balance, operations don't get impacted, but our savings accounts will.
I'm sorry, could you say that one more time?
So unreserved fund balance, we have an unreserved fund balance policy.
Right.
So what I try to do is match the amount that we withdraw from fund balance to equal the amount we contribute to capital reserve funds.
Oh, okay.
The reasoning why is, you don't want to use fund balance to offset operational costs.
Right.
Because if you don't have it, then you have to reduce operations, versus if we don't have it, I just reduce what we put in our capital reserve funds.
Right. And then, this is separate from the water,
Correct.
and it's separate from police?
No, police is in there.
Okay, all right, dispatch, yeah.
Yep, police.
All right, because we're buying cars, we're not.
We're buying cars, yep.
Yeah, okay. But fire trucks, those are in here.
Fire department, yep.
Right.
Counselor Dornblit, and then Counselor Lamatina. Sorry about that.
The department head request for stormwater management is significantly more than you're suggesting we appropriate. What was included in that, and
Have the engineer come up.
and what will we be able to do if we don't fund it?
What was included in that request was an amount put specifically towards MS4 general permit compliance, which is another one of our NIPD's permits for stormwater management. And that's one where we have a number of requirements to meet in investigating our stormwater system, doing outfall inspections, manhole inspections, TV and cameras. A lot of those requirements are due to be done in the next 3 years, so the increase in request is planning for tackling those activities in the next 3 years. We will still be able to do an amount of that with what we have in the reserve, but some of that was budget projections, assuming that we do a certain number of them each year. Catchment investigations is what that's called. And then the other request was specific to stormwater asset management, which is similar activities, but evaluating more, not specific to water quality, but more condition assessment on all of our storm drains and pipes that we have throughout the town, because we know we have a lot of aging infrastructure that we need to be planning to replace in coming years. So that's what those two requests were for.
So this was to, the latter one was to ensure that we would be aware of potential problems and would be able to address them before they became acute?
Correct. Be able to address them before we have an actual failure.
Okay.
Just to clarify.
Counselor Lamatina is next, and then Counselor Glazebrook, then we can come back to you, Counselor
Yeah,
Glazer.
the question for the town manager.
Yep.
If we were to have an opportunity to purchase some land or something for facilities, town facilities, whatever, where does that come out of?
We do not have that.
So if an opportunity comes up, we have to go to a warrant article?
I would have to come to, yes, well, right now, yeah, we'd have to go to, well, if it happened mid-year, I'd have to have a special town meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, that perfect example, yes. I don't have we have no reserve fund for land purchases.
Okay. So it'd have to be a special town meeting?
Yep.
That we would potentially lose it?
Yep.
And Counselor Glazebrook, and then we'll come back to you, Counselor Blackstone.
So
Thank you.
when you are cutting these,
Yep.
where, it was two plans.
Yep.
Were you cutting them equally in
No,
your
I just,
assessment?
I level funded. And then I let them determine which is gonna be there.
Because one of them is
Priority.
like mandated by,
It's mandated, I mean, but you can do it, we're gonna do it, just we're not gonna do it as fast.
okay. Thanks.
Counselor Blackstone.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out to Soki that the MS4 is mandated. You don't have a choice. You
Right.
have to do that.
Okay.
Right. I understand.
And I will highlight actually that this is one of the first years that the contribution to capital reserve fund is not equaling the withdrawal to fund balance due to the fact that the DRA, sorry, I'm still under court order, I can't say why there was a mistake on last year's tax rate setting. But we all know there was an error last year.
Okay.
So I can't use as much fund balance.
Councilor Dornblatt.
So the Recreation Department requested quite a significant sum for facilities. What was envisioned in there, and this seems like an extraordinary sum.
I'll go with the CIP committee.
Yeah, so the main items big ticket items was the facilities master plan. So they are envisioning to understand what they can do with their current facilities and how expansion will look like. So that's a significant cost there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's big.
Councilor Glisbrook.
Another chunk of it was the study that they're currently doing, correct, and what they might be able to do with the results of that information. So anticipating costs, they are assuming that they're going to need to get a larger building, among other things. So it was anticipation of what they are fairly sure is to come.
And how did the CIP committee evaluate that request?
We sent it ahead as requested.
And I said, we can't afford it.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's hard because it's things that they are fairly certain they're going to need. It's justifying a cost of something that we can't point to, like, look, we need it because
Right.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On my side, it's, yes, absolutely, we need these facilities. And I support the CIP 100%, but when I put my hat on and I have to do the budget and try to come in with a reasonable tax rate increase, that's when I do the cuts, and that's why I always keep the department heads' requests in there as well, so you can see what they need, as compared to what I need to actually put forward on the budget.
Councilor Dornblatt.
I'd like to return to the stormwater management for a minute. I do really like the idea of of doing research, anticipating or being able to anticipate problems into the future, so that we are not hit out of the blue, or we might even prevent catastrophic failure in some cases. So I'm wondering if there were additional funds available in order to do some of that work. How would you structure that over the course of let's say 3 or 4 years, in order to do the work that you're intending to do there? And how much money would that ideally, if we were to build up toward it, rather than anticipating doing it all next year, what would be a reasonable amount to add there, so that we can be prudent and have the funds available to do the monitoring and assess the infrastructure?
So you're speaking more to the asset management?
Yes.
General stormwater asset?
Yes, not the MS4.
So, it's a complicated answer, and we'll be able to provide more information in December. We'll be planning to come to the council to present our development of our asset management program. We've been working with Wright Pierce engineers over the past couple of years to work on that, and there are matrices and criteria to evaluate, and we have developed standard procedures for evaluating based on CCTV or based on age or criticality or risk consequence of failure, and the desired level of service that we want to meet. So that asset management program was developed focusing on downtown because we have the most available information on our infrastructure there, and the hope is that we will be able to take those criteria and procedures for condition assessments and apply them to the larger infrastructure outside of the specific downtown area. So I hesitate to give you a specific answer on what our plan is right now, but some of that will come from that presentation that Wright Pierce can give, and they can go through some of the numbers and the linear footage of pipe that we have evaluated, and it mirrors the wastewater and water asset management systems pretty closely so that we can have an understanding of the age of our infrastructure and when we need to be anticipating that we'll likely need to replace. We have certain systems that we've already found that, like Backers Falls drainage is a great example, that was old metal pipe that was very holy. And that has now been replaced with current systems, so those systems will be imported into our asset management program, so they would have a projection of being replaced in 50 to 75 years, and then we start planning what we should put aside for those replacements.
Okay, so we're developing a system to
Yes.
to be able to project. Good. Okay.
To be able to project and make
Yeah.
those data-driven decisions on when we need to make the replacements.
And so, and the MS4 compliance will, I mean, obviously that's something that we have to do. Walk me through that. Walk me through what you were hoping to be able to do over the course of next year.
3 years.
Yeah.
So the MS4 requirement for minimum control measure 3, which is the illicit discharge detection and elimination program that we have,
Yep.
requires that we inspect and screen, take samples of water if there's flow during dry weather. All of our outfalls, and the town has identified roughly 52 to 57. As we are expanding our asset management program, we're finding new infrastructure, new things are being built, we're adding more to that. So currently, we're working on that 57 outfalls, all need dry weather inspections. We should be wrapping that up in the next couple of months. We've worked with geosyntech consultants to do initial catchment investigations, which is they inspected the outfall and then they follow the pipe system up to junction manholes and grab samples if there's dry weather flow to determine if there's a likely sewer input. And the NS4 requirement is that we complete catchment investigations for all problem outfalls, which are, there's a structure to classification of the outfalls. That has to be completed by year 10 of the permit, so that's over the next 3 years. We're in year 8 right now, just started. So over year 8, year 9, and year 10, we need to complete catchment investigations for all those problem outfalls. Geosyntech has completed 9 of them, so we have the 57 total. We have roughly 50 outfalls that we need to do that. We don't have that many problem outfalls, and take that back. Problem ones is a lesser number, but it's within that 57. So the problem ones are within the next 3 years, and then the rest, high and low ranked outfalls, will need to be covered in the subsequent 3 years.
So based on the
Under the current permit.
based on what's been done so far, what's the ratio of problem versus, fine?
Yeah, that's a
So
good
that we-
question.
If you were to project that on the 57, what would your anticipation be?
I wish I remembered what the number was, less than 20.
Okay. And are they, does this analysis include cost projections for remedy?
No.
It doesn't. So that would be an additional, that would be additional work that we would have to.
If we do find a sewer connection and that needs to be removed, that's an additional cost to remedy the situation and remove that connection, depending on what it is. And that's why the cost projection isn't in there, because it could be any number of things.
Right. So you're coming to receive data over the course of this fiscal year.
Yep.
Is there a benefit to being ready to move forward with remedial action if necessary, or is that something that needs to be planned out and costed out before one can go ahead with that?
There is an amount of remedial action that could probably be addressed with what we already have in stormwater capital reserve, and we've been putting some money in there intentionally so that we could address some of the smaller projects. Some of them will be larger capital projects that would be a separate thing to come forward. Much like the Packers Falls drainage, that was a larger project to tackle than what we could just take care of with our own labor and capital reserve.
So it sounds like there's a lot of work underway, and there's time for us to appropriate funds to do the follow-up
Yes.
in the regular budget cycles.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Then Councilor Claysburg.
Yeah, my question is actually for the library CRF.
What?
You want to wait till they come up?
Sure.
Yeah, just because
All right.
then I'll have to move all those guys out.
Sure what-
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
fine. It'll be like a couple minutes, I think.
Yeah,
Other questions? Oh, Councilor Matina.
It might be helpful at some point in time if we could just get the fund balances for these.
How much is in each capital reserve?
Excuse me. Well, two questions then.
You want to
What's
write
the
down?
fund reserve currently for this particular line item, the stormwater management?
If you give me just a minute.
230?
Yeah.
Do you have 230 then? And I don't know, it might be helpful for us to just get a,
Yep.
before we vote on it, what the fund balances are.
I have that readily available, so,
Yeah.
not with me, but.
We'll get it. We'll put it. We'll get it, and it'll be in the new digital budget book.
Sure.
That would be great.
Yep.
Basically, we get a monthly report from the Cambridge Trust, who does.
No, that from the capital reserve funds.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because the trustees manage the capital reserve funds, and they're invested funds, so we can get that for you.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Other questions on this one?
Okay.
Okay.
Library. Page 117. So the library, as you will know, is a contribution library. While they give us their line items, at the end of the day, the library trustees oversee each line item. While I do have the ability to cut, I think I've only cut the library once in my 13 years here. We usually just bring it forward. We'd let him present first.
Well, I was going to say, so that we're all on the same
Yeah.
mindset of CRF, can I just ask my question briefly?
The chair.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you were getting the results of your feasibility study the evening after we had CIP, and your anticipation here was that you knew there was going to be projects that needed to be done. What were the results of that feasibility? Was it what you expected?
Well, it was not a complete result reveal at that point. It was a touch point.
Okay.
At which the point the trustees submitted new comments, and there's a revision that's been proposed, but the final vision is not
Okay.
at this
All
point.
right, thank you.
Sure.
And just before you get started, could I invite you to
Yes.
introduce yourself and say
Nobody's
your
met
name
the new
and your
director
role
yet, so, yeah.
to the council?
Good morning, councilors. My name's Andy Richmond. I'm the new director of the Newmarket Public Library. Glad to be here and glad to be part of the process this morning.
So, library's on 117. We're seeing a $16,287 increase, 2.73%. Mainly what we all have, salaries and benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sort of starting late in the process with the budget, but with the capable assistance of Mr. Kaufman and our full-time librarian, Lauren McLaughlin, this was established based on experience of the previous fiscal year, and key changes. There's almost a wash with full-time and part-time. I believe one full-time position was being tracked in the part-time line, so that correction just swaps out. Health insurance is what it is. Books and subscriptions is almost offset by a reduction in electronic information. That is our internal library system that runs the operation of circulation and records within that integrated library system. We migrated to a less expensive system. That money is going to subsidize books and subscriptions in a larger way in the forthcoming fiscal year, primarily to fund a very popular electronic borrowing platform that we've begun and are seeing robust use of.
Oh, good.
And,
It's Libby?
Those are the key.
Is it
elements.
Libby? Or is-
Libby is a fixed annual subscription.
Mhm.
Hoopla is the other. And the difference there is digital rights management. Libby works with a publishing agreement where it's almost like a physical book. If we own one item and it's out, it's a waiting situation. Hoopla works with a universal access so that any number of users can borrow the same item at the same time. But it is a different cost system.
Yeah.
It's an a la carte system. So we're watching it, and there are management techniques which may come into play just to hold the cost at a expected level. But this change will allow us to carry on as it's currently panning out.
Questions, discussion from the council? Councilor Lamontina.
Health insurance, is their health insurance covered under the town's?
We're on the same plan, but they have it under their budget.
Okay. But it's the same?
They're pooled with us, correct? Yep.
Package.
Other questions? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Did I miss one?
Welcome aboard, good.
Thank you, Joe.
And welcome to your first budget process. I think it's a little different than other towns, or?
Absolutely. But it's been informative to watch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have pastries, so.
Okay, we're at the point now that we traditionally do the fly-through. We have all the smaller budgets, and I usually say what the new budget proposed is and what to change, and if the council wants me to stop, you say hold.
Okay.
And then we have the discussion. If not, we just keep going through.
Okay.
We start at the beginning, which is, it may be easier to go on the summary page, which is, it starts on 20. That's it. It's on
22.
22. Okay, first department, town council, budgeted $12,150, level funded, all your salaries. The next, town manager, budgeted at $297,851, a reduction of $59,307. Reasoning is, last year the council gave us $70,000 for the fire study. It's not in there this year. Finance, next department, increase of $13,601 to $33,693. That's salaries and benefits.
Yeah. Real quick, I think we skipped town clerk.
Oh, I'm sorry, yep.
Coming up.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Town clerk, tax collector.
Oh, sorry, on the physical, it's town council, town administrator, town clerk.
Okay, on this one, on the pages, it's different.
All right, sorry, I won't
Yeah.
interrupt you with that.
So weird.
No.
Okay.
Okay, next is HR, which is the largest department, but it's all because of, that's where health is. Joe has a question, he said hold.
Okay, yeah, so just a general discussion about the insurance, what's happening with that?
We're seeing,
Confident that we're gonna stay with this?
yes, oh yeah, I would not recommend that we switch from Health Trust right now, because the only two other providers is school care, or go on the open market. I know of one community that went on the open market right now, and it's not good.
Working out?
And you know that school cares, they just everyone got hit with $1 million, $500,000 to a $1.8 million mid-year.
Request.
Can I ask, can you talk to the school part? I know,
What do you want me to know?
well, it's gonna impact the bottom line for the town tax rate. Potentially.
For the community tax rate, not the town tax rate. Town tax rate's $4 and,
I'm sorry, the
thank
school.
you. What do you want to know?
Okay, so I know for a fact that the school can cover it. They have, what's $400,000 and that they've got a way of covering it. So just, if you could just maybe update everybody here, even though it's school related,
I know what you know.
that's it?
I know that
Come
they're
on, you
still
know
working on it.
everything.
No, the superintendent I met this week, he said they're confident. Understand that, remember that while there's a $400,000 impact on this year's budget that also increases next year's budget by that amount. As, plus they have a regular percentage on there. So they are gonna be looking at their own funds. I believe they're gonna hit their fund balance, as well as they have a capital, Bill, if I'm speaking wrong on this one, they have a capital reserve fund for healthcare that I believe they're gonna hit, but that's all I know.
I have that page open.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
No, yeah. But they do have a method to cover it on theirs.
That's what I was just.
Yeah,
updating.
and they have to, I mean, there's no
They do.
option. That's what the problem,
Benefits, expendable trust, they do have money there.
just to let you know, that is the problem what schools are facing, is that you have to cover it. And if you don't have the money, you have to cut it doesn't increase the tax rate, it cuts other programming. Because that budget's already been passed, and you can't do additional expenditures.
Right.
So, the $400,000 would not impact the tax rate, it would impact their operations. Okay. So HR is going up $373,447. We're seeing a $207,842 increase in healthcare.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's our guaranteed maximum rate increase. It could come in less, but we always go for what the Health Trust says is our guaranteed maximum rate increase. The other big increase is for retirement. The retirement system increased rates significantly this year. So those are two costs that we can't really do without reducing headcount.
I guess on the
Councilor
revenue
Martina.
side, we're expecting less from the state. Is that a true statement?
We're anticipating,
We don't know yet.
we're level fund, yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be giving us the same amount of meals and rooms tax, but it could switch if there's a budget shortfall. So we're being conservative there. But they don't give us any money towards retirement.
I thought they did.
They do for police and fire. No, they don't even do that anymore.
Not that I'm aware of.
They stopped. They used to give a percentage to police and fire, and I want
The
to,
state employees, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah. So,
Maybe.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next one, town clerk tax collection. It is, I'm sorry, am I in the right one? I hit the wrong one. Yep,
Yeah.
is an increase,
What's the page number of that one?
town clerk
40.
tax collector, 40. Increase of $15,426 to 16%. There's an election this coming, state election this coming year.
Okay.
That's the cost of having it.
How many full-time salary? How many full-time people do we have?
It's 3.
3,
Okay,
and we have 1 vacancy.
okay.
The big one, another big one increase, welfare. We're seeing an increase of $20,621 due to assistance in rent. That's trying to cover actual costs. We try to use all the nonprofits before we use our own, but we are the department of last resort, and we have to cover it. It's not a law, so we'll just have to find it somewhere else.
One is I cannot, social services grants?
Nope.
No. Why am I not?
Direct
seeing this?
assistance.
Oh, thank you,
Sorry.
thank you. I appreciate that.
All set?
Yeah, that's an increase. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
The next, I believe, is assessing. We're seeing a $7,300 increase. Mainly, we have a contracted assessor. We are very lucky to have a contracted assessor right now. There are cities and towns whose contracts have been up. There's some companies that are just pulling out of the market. For the first time in 35 to 40 years, there are towns in the North Country that the state has had to do a reval because they're the safety net there. Sanka, got a question?
Oh,
Yeah, not on this
Councilor
one,
Dornblatt.
on the previous one, so please.
Okay.
finish.
Sorry. And the other increase is software.
Okay.
Sorry, welfare?
Yes, please.
Yep.
The actuals for this current, or this last fiscal year was 33,355.
Yep.
In what way has the situation changed so that we should not anticipate that number be reached again?
We're not seeing the softening in the unemployment as we saw in the past. It's staying pretty level. We're seeing some softening in the rental rates because there's more, I mean, much like we're seeing in the regular housing market. Prices of houses are starting to, I don't want to say flatten, but it's just not going like this.
I think they are.
So we're just not seeing, and that's my educated guess is that. But again, this is one of those departments that if we have it, we have to do it.
Right.
So.
Which is, I mean, considering that, so what did the department head base their request on? I mean, it seems very specific.
I think it was just actuals. They just put the number in. That's why I brought it back down.
So the actuals for this.
Bill, do you want to?
I apologize because I didn't bring my notes with me for this, but I believe it was an actuals plus a % increase based on the type of volume she's been seeing over the last year.
Right.
So, including what you just pointed out, actuals from last year. The last.
So the actuals of this year are higher than actuals from last year?
No, I think we're on track about
to hit the same?
Similar to last year, yeah.
Okay. It would seem prudent to increase that line a little bit just to play with real numbers rather than hedging our bets since we have to pay it anyways. So my suggestion would be that we consider adding $5,000 to that line. I'm happy to make a motion to that effect.
You don't need to make a motion. You can just
motion.
consensus if it's.
Yeah.
Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Direct assistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Councilor Glazebrook.
I think it's an important program. I also think that we have to cover it regardless. So if we appropriate the money and we don't spend it, it goes into a fund.
Fund balance.
If we don't appropriate it and we just wait to see what the cost is, and if it's 5,000 more, we spend it. But there's a situation where we wouldn't need to use that money and put it into the fund balance.
I mean, under that argumentation, we would not put anything into the line.
I understand what you're saying, but I disagree.
Yeah. So you're thinking it's unlikely that we'll spend that money?
I don't know, but.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the request was based on. It's based on percentage increase and actuals, but I don't know what is the actual and what is that percentage they use, or where did they come up with that percentage? I'm not sure.
I mean, until fiscal year 25, it was much closer to the 10,000 than it was the 30,000.
So if we're, let's say the requests end up between 47,000, we would take that out of fund balance.
No, I'd stop spending on other parts of the budget and make that up.
Okay, so then I would suggest we add 5,000 to that line.
Okay. What are other folks' thoughts? Councilor Lamattina, what do you think?
No. Do I have any? No, I'm fine with that.
Adding or not?
Adding or not adding? Okay.
What page is that? It's directed, or
47. Page 47.
Oh, because in my table of contents, it says welfare.
Welfare and.
Yeah.
Can I ask
And it's
you
a different, yeah. Okay.
So if we put that money in and we don't spend it and it goes into the fund, what is that? Into the fund balance. Why can you not use that fund balance?
Because fund balance is the undesignated unreserved fund balance. We only can use it when, well, our policy is we have to budget for that. That's why in the revenues is a $500,000 withdrawal from the fund balance. And we can't withdraw money fund balance unless we go to offset operations, unless we only use it for offsetting taxes if it's unanticipated fund balance. It's not like a capital reserve fund where I can just go withdraw from there.
Okay. Yeah. I would change my stance to be, I agree to that we should add.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Councilor
$5,000
Eagleson?
plus. Oops, sorry.
What do you think?
And where are you getting the 5,000 from? Because like halfway between the two, the department head and the town manager's 6,800. Are you saying just 5,000 is just like a general number to add?
Rather than going with 3,500, anticipating if the actuals for FY '26 are on target to hit the same as last fiscal year, 5,000 would cover it. Rather than reducing some other line and, for that purpose.
Councilor Blackstone, what do you think?
Sure, I'll support it.
Yeah, I think I'll get it.
All right.
Okay, 5. Bill?
At 5,000?
Yep.
Unfortunately, it just seems like more and more people are going to be needing help, so it seems.
Yes.
I think so too.
Okay. Legal, next, 51. Saying no increase, 115,000. It's a lucky contract that we have there.
Yes.
Is that a multi-year contract?
You don't want to pick that scab right now.
Well, is it coming up?
Good question. I think it may have already been up, but we didn't want to pick the scab.
Gotcha. Forget that I asked.
Okay.
Questions on this one? Okay.
Now we're going to go all the way to page 60, which is debt.
Debt principal?
Principal. Can't do anything about this one, we got to pay our debt.
Okay.
Next is debt interest. Same.
62?
Yep.
Or 62. Okay.
So we're going to go, any questions on, if you have to do it? 64, IT.
Just a quick question. If the Fed starts bringing rates down, can we refinance?
Yes, so you may remember a few years ago, I came in and before the council and refinanced at least two things that brought it down a few $100,000 altogether.
Yeah.
So we're paying attention to the capital markets. Things are so iffy right now,
Yeah, I know. They reduced the prime rate and the mortgage rate goes up.
Right. It's
Makes
a
no
tough,
sense.
tough time right now, so we're just watching.
Okay. Next is IT, which is on page 64. There's a $16,609 increase, or 8%. It's software maintenance license, which is, Bill, want to do the quick, what that means?
Yeah, so software maintenance is anything that we're, like our ERP system, for example.
What's our ERP?
I'm sorry, the Munis system that we use for many things, general ledger, we use it for permitting, we use it for utility billing, tax collection. That's the majority of the costs there. And they're going up by guaranteed 5% every year, plus we're seeing we've got additional software, like the one that produced this, is part of that. And the majority of these now are, they're under license. We're not, it's much harder to just purchase software and own it, and it sits on your system and that's it. I still do that as much as I can with the desktop, endpoints, the desktop PCs and laptops, but when it comes to other things, the software companies really want that subscription model because it's continuing revenue.
Yep.
So,
That's a yes.
Councilor Ward.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so on here is also hardware. Where would this stuff also count as hardware?
No.
No? Okay.
That's coming out, we are doing that. We just discussed it. This will all be hardwired, the microphones here.
Yeah, just plug
That is, that's, the media department knows that's goal number one for the council right now, is to get rid of the wireless microphone.
Not goal number one, but yes.
Yeah, for that department, yes.
Just a month.
Joe has a question.
Oh, Councilor Lamatina.
Is there any discussion or potential savings in working with the school as far as software licenses go?
Not really, and the reason is not because we don't love working with them as much as we can. It's that their schools are seen very differently in the software world than we are. I don't really know why that is, but for example, many softwares are radically cheaper. And same thing with systems. Now, I don't know if that's still the same, but for many years it's been that schools get a real break on, whatever the pricing is, whereas the town is seen almost as if we're just a business.
Yeah.
So there really isn't, a lot of great savings. Now, our vendors that we use are government vendors, and we try to do as much purchasing as we can through consortia, and so that helps. But, it's, in terms of buying with school, I get where you're going, but we don't get the same benefit that the school districts do.
When we're looking at doing something, say networking or whatever, do we, take the school into account?
Not usually, no. And the reason is because we're completely separate networks. In fact, we just went through a whole process when we were, in fact, you guys voted on it to support the whole thing for cybersecurity, and we just terminated our final tunnel between them. And that's why we bought that DeSigo system that manages the lights and heat and so on, because we don't want to have that tunnel open any longer. And that was advised by our cybersecurity, on both sides, the school as well as town said, look, you guys need to close this.
Councilor Ward.
And just for people at home, the reason they needed to close the tunnel is because if one system, the town system, got attacked, it means it can't go into the school system and vice versa. That's why that's okay. Just want to make sure that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Media services, page 64, there's an increase of $15,849, mainly salaries, and the Channel 8 operating expense, Bill?
So there are some things that got switched around because we were trying to put them in their proper places. And so that's why some are up and others are down. That's not the most sophisticated explanation, but essentially it's trying to allocate things in their proper buckets, if you will.
So moving from software licenses to dues memberships, is that kind of the movement that happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah, if you see
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That answers that question.
Okay.
Okay.
Page 100, community grants. These are our,
Hang on. Where's that? Community grants, there we go. Yes.
fine. Sorry, mine's, there it is. No increase, $59,000. This is contributions of things such as Coast at $26,000, the Newmarket Athletic Association, which is like Little League and those kind of, that provide those services for $21,500, Veterans Memorial Trust, and festival support is additional funds for Backyard Bash and those kind of items.
Councilor Blackstone.
So I remember Coast came here and asked us for this $26,000, but I thought there was something, a contingency on it that everybody had to pay, otherwise the whole thing was going to fold. So does that mean that everybody paid, or did I misremember that?
I'm gonna look to Sanko.
No, I mean, the short,
I
the
mean, by
budget.
everyone, I mean all the towns.
Yeah, the budget pressure that Coast is experiencing is mostly related to federal funds. And the fact that the state budget did not include the minimal contribution to public transit that had been in it in the previous biennial budget. So it's kind of absorbing those hits that that we were being advised of, I guess. What we can say about the 26,000 is that based on the fact that the news service is receiving additional support from a community foundation, we should anticipate that request to be going up next year when that community foundation support may or may not expire. And since the service is structured so differently, this is kind of a projected cost for the service. If the utilization increases because the service is structured, so remember, you can call for a ride inside of town or certain points in Stratham or anywhere in Exeter. If that utilization rate exceeds the 26,000, will likely, and which I would anticipate it will, because it's so much easier to use and so much friendlier. So I would say that we could see an increase there. Nothing huge or majorly significant, but the 26,000 is probably not very. It's probably very soft.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that answered the question at all, but I tried.
Okay.
The next is page 103, property liability insurance. We'll see an $8,508 increase, just our insurance increase. The next is social service grants, 109. We're seeing a decrease of $6,300 while we had an increase in some requests. We had a couple agencies not request their funds this year, including Crossroads House, American Red Cross, and the Big Brothers Big Sisters. We always, and this is Councilor Eagleson, every year we require all nonprofits who request a grant to apply. They provide us with their financials and the number of individuals they serve in the community to make sure that they, it's going back to people who's in the community. Okay. Patriotic purposes, 109. And that's for Memorial Day, flags, contributions to those kind of questions, concerns? Okay. Hearing none. That's it.
That's it.
$5,000 increase.
Not bad.
We'll do those separately. Because you got to vote on those separately, and we'll just do those at the meetings.
Okay.
I can bump up my recommendation for use of fund balance by $5,000 so we don't change the tax rate. It's $5,000. I'm not saying $500,000.
All right.
I'm
Yep.
very conservative when it comes to funding.
You
should be, as well you should be. Hold the line.
Last year, that's why.
And I'm conservative, but 5,000 is not much.
Okay.
If
Well,
not, you'll have the amendment for the next meeting, and we'll go from there.
Excellent.
If I might, I printed the capital reserve sheets out for you guys, so that
Thank
you
you.
have.
Okay.
Just take them, I'll grab it.
Thanks to the department head for being here, and thank you, counselors. Thank you, finance director. Thank you, town manager.
Thank you.